And then
like
my baby sister pushed my Xbox off the. It was on our little like stand, and she pushed it back. The DVD got scratched up. Disc reader gone, so I can't even use the disc reader anymore. So I can't even play games on it.
Hey guys, this is Elijah Vargas from the Goal Soul Podcast. Can you introduce yourself?
Hey, I'm Dhruv Kalani. I'm a U.S. Marine from Bartlett, Illinois, BHS graduate.
Hell yeah, dude! I graduated there in May. Yeah, there's a lot of dude. I know Nathan Reese also graduated there. He graduated a year early. That shit was crazy.
Yeah, I remember.
He graduated with you, right?
I believe so. I don't remember if he's on the alumni list. I didn't really pay attention to much of them. I was too busy being up there with as the Hawk, and then
the
graduation
shoot!
speech.
I forgot about that. Dude, that was sick. I remember. Putting that on my story because like I was shocked to find out that you were the Hawk. Was it all year?
It was all year, yes.
Dude, that's sick.
Actually, during the winter season, I had some complications come up. So it's like I think they had someone temporarily come in for like a game or two, and then it was mostly me that entire year. All the football games, that was me, and then everything in the spring season that came rolling around, that was me. And then you would see me running around in the lunchroom. Yeah.
I want to ask, because. The reason that I mentioned Nathan Reese was because obviously I had him. He was the last person I had on the podcast. Yeah. So I thought I'd mention him again. I want to ask how were the holidays for you?
Oh, dude, the holidays were great. It's great to be home. It's like it's been a good year since I came home. Like I didn't have much time. Last time I took leave, I went down to Miami. So that was like in July. But finally got to come home, see my family. I miss Christmas, but it is what it is, right? Work held me back, right?
Yeah.
So just have to stuck doing what the government wants me to do, right?
Yeah. So how long have you been here? So you came right after Christmas, I'm guessing?
Yeah, I was like I want to say the 26th. I believe my leave started on the 25th, the day right after Christmas. Right, 25th is the Christmas, right?
Yeah.
No, my leave started on the 26th. I flew back on the 27th. And then I leave on the 3rd, actually, so tomorrow. Okay.
Oh, that's not that long, but can I ask, do you celebrate Christmas?
We try to, like in our own Indian kind of
way.
Okay,
yeah, I was gonna.
We don't celebrate like the birth of Christ on the religious side. It's not a religious thing. We do it.
It's
because
more
it's
of like
a social thing, I guess.
Yeah.
That's like the best way to put it. Just
cultural holiday.
Just like because everyone else does it, we might as well do it, right? We got nothing else to do.
Yeah, I didn't want to assume, but I was because I know Syed got on here. Do you know Kamal Syed?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, so he got on here and he was talking about how he literally like doesn't celebrate any holidays during like December. So I was just wondering. I just wanted to ask.
Does he not even celebrate New Year's?
Oh, yeah, he probably does. No, I'm willing to bet. Yeah, I think everybody does. Except for the Chinese, right?
No, they do too.
Yeah.
The Chinese have their own New Year, but they also celebrate, I think some parts of China celebrate both New Years, right? Because they have the Lunar New Year, which is it's coming up right now, so it should be coming around in the spring, if I'm correct. And then they also celebrate the New Year for the road calendar, because it's just what everyone does. I think I don't think there isn't a place that doesn't celebrate the New Year.
That's interesting. What I find interesting is like the leap years, and like I think there's also a thing where every like 100 years or something they set back like a month or something. I don't know what it is, but they have they have special rules for every so often they have to go back or add a day or like add something.
I'm not 100% sure on that, but it sounds like
I think I don't mean to cut you off.
No.
But I remember my uncle telling me that that's one of the reasons why they don't know exactly like precisely when people like George Washington was born. Yeah. Because they were switching from like the old calendar to the new calendar, something like that, where they didn't set it right. So there's just like a span of a few years that it's all kind of jumbled together.
Well, yeah, because the calendar has gone through many changes when you think about it. Because then you have July, August, right? That's Julius and Augustine, right? I don't know if I'm saying those names right. I could be wrong, but it's because those two Roman, right? Roman or Greek. I'm not sure completely which culture they were, but like,
I'm not sure either.
They,
probably Roman.
I want to say Roman, right? Roman is like Julius and what is it, Augustine? That
Augustus or something. I'm not sure.
That sounds wrong. Yeah, they named 2 calendar months after them, right?
Yeah. And then isn't like November, December? That's like 9 and 10.
9 and 10.
9 and
October
10, right?
is 8.
Yeah.
Like September 7.
Yeah.
Right. So they had the months like that, right? And
they're all kind of mixed up too, because you'd think December's 10, right? But it's actually like 12. Like it's month number 12, so it's like set back like 2, I think.
Yeah, but that's because of July and August, because those 2 months weren't originally there. It was supposed to end on December being the 10th month, and then July and August in there.
I remember seeing a video on TikTok about that. They said it was like some occult thing, but I'm not entirely sure.
Who knows? They wanted to. Julius Caesar and Augustus wanted to capitalize their winnings.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Whatever.
It's interesting.
Did you know that the Indian calendar actually predates longer than the Mayan calendar?
Really?
Yeah. So so I think we're based off the Mayan calendar, right? Yeah. So the Mayan calendar is what like is accepted right now, right? But then if you look at Hindu culture, it says that the calendar is like 2070 something or 2080 something or 2090. I'm not really sure what year, but like apparently it predates longer.
Damn.
And they were able to keep a more concise time with it prior to the Mayans, which is very interesting.
That is interesting. Is there like a because I know for the Mayans, they predicted the end of the world is like 2012, right?
Yeah.
You said Hindi, does that that one have one?
So I think that was based on the cultural aspects, right? So the Mayans thought like there was only so long, right? Because the 2012 was, they had some sort of numbers that lined up, because it was like 2012, 12, 12. They were like, oh, these numbers line up. Like, I think there was that idea or something that was in the Mayan culture that gave them that thought that it was going to end that year. But in Hindu culture, right, the years will continue to go on until like it'll just go on infinitely. There is no end, right? The only end in Hindu culture is when you have ascended, or like in Buddhism they say when you reach nirvana.
Yeah, that makes sense.
In Hindu culture, it's like when you've ascended, when you've when you can be basically reach nirvana in a Hindu aspect, like what they consider nirvana, right? And that's the end. That's the end goal, because at that point it's like you're on a different plane of existence, and now it's like time is meaningless or something like that. Something like that. I don't know. I read it in the Bhagavad Gita. That's like the Hindu. That's the Hindu Bible.
Yeah, that's interesting though. It's kind of like a lot of like cultures have their own versions of heaven, I think.
Yeah.
It's not exactly the same as, because I'm Christian. It's not exactly the same as heaven, but I mean, as far as, because we believe that we have to, like, the divinity of Christ, and that he's like our Lord and Savior and all that, right? But what do the Hindus believe? Is it like good deeds and stuff like that, or is it more of like a belief?
There is the karma system, right? We have the karma system.
That's what it is. Right? Yeah.
So in Hindu culture, right, there is no such thing as good. Like, there's no such thing as good, bad, right, wrong, right? Everything comes down to your, like, it's perspective. Everything is a perspective base. Sure, there's like that, okay, this was morally, like, correct. This was morally incorrect. There's, like, all these, like, different, like, so there's some things that are, like, set good, some bad, right? There's some things that are just, like, yeah, that's a bad. But, like, if you kill someone, right, what was the cause of it? Was it self-defense? If it's self-defense, was that really necessarily a bad thing you did? No, you were trying to save yourself. You were trying to save your life, right? Or you were trying to save someone else's life. If you end up killing someone because they were trying to harm someone else, and like, right? So that's why, if in the military, right, the Indian military, right, they don't see it as like, oh, killing people is bad, killing people is good, right? There is no such thing as good or bad. It's all situation, all perspective, all what makes it a justifiable cause, right? And then again, that's also an argued topic, right? That's always argued. Like, that wasn't justifiable. If you had a gun, you could have warned them, right?
Yeah.
There's always all these arguments that you could make, but in the end, it's really what you think. Was it really justified for you? If you can be content with the decision that you made, that will be your karma. If you are content with the decision knowing that, hey, I saved this person's life and I really had no other choice. In the end, I still killed someone, but I saved another life in retrospect, you can consider that a good deed, a good karma, right? And what Hindu culture believes is that it's to be able to, how would I put it? To completely forget that there is a right or wrong, this good karma, right? To be able to walk a just path, right? And to be able to free yourself from making these, like, good, bad decisions, to be able to elevate your mind in an aspect, right? Because in the Bhagavad Gita, right, that's the Hindu Bible, they say that, I remember seeing the main character, the main person that they talk about, right? Krishna, the god, tells the prince of the empire, right? The kingdom. Because what had happened was once his dad died, all his uncles and aunts took over, and even though they're family, he was forced to kill them because they refused to surrender, and he thought it was a bad deed. But Krishna was telling him, like, no, you had a justifiable cause. They were trying to harm you, and they were trying to claim something that was basically not theirs, essentially. So again, there's no such thing as good or bad. It's all perspective and just
okay. Yeah, that makes sense. So it's more of like a subjective morality.
It's subjective.
Okay.
But there's always that clear right or wrong. Like if you kill someone out of the blue, like there's nothing that justifies that. You did that. You murdered someone. You took away a life.
That makes sense.
That's.
So there is it's a combination then of objective and subjective. Yeah. Okay. So I love that we had like a really deep conversation. I'm gonna get into your background a little bit. All right.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna ask because I always do a background so people know who you are, why I'm talking to you, and then just like all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, 100%.
So where did you grow up?
So, I grew up in technically Bartlett, right? I did stay in Huffman for like when I was like 1 or 2 years old, right, up until I was 2, and then once my sister's first birthday rolled around, or I think when she was born, I can't remember. We bought a house over in Bartlett, and then I've been living out in Bartlett ever since. But yeah, I mostly grew up in Bartlett over here.
Yeah.
I don't think I lived anywhere else other than that.
I think it's fairly similar with me too because when I turned 3, I think.
Mm-hmm.
My brother was born, and then I think we stayed just like a tad bit, and then we moved. We moved here from Bloomingdale.
Yeah. No.
So yeah, I think that might be like a common thing where like there's a new baby, we gotta move. Something, because I think it's the same so Roshan was on. I don't think you know Roshan. Because you probably saw the title of the episode. He was on this podcast, but I think it was when his brother was born. He also moved. He lived like right down the block from me, and then they moved to Western Springs like right before middle school.
Yeah. So, with that being said, the reason we moved wasn't just because there was a new child born.
Yeah,
right?
I would guess.
There was a lot more to it. We lived in this like 3-bedroom townhouse, right? It was floor, basement, right? We had 2 floors and a basement, no garage. It was a townhouse. It was out in Huffman, and it was like it was a little small, like. I can't put like.
It wasn't enough for 4 people.
Ooh, it was definitely more. We had my family and my uncle's family.
Oh shoot! Okay, yeah.
Our grandpa and so we had both grandpas there. No, my grandpa because from my mom's side or my aunt's side, her mom's dad passed away already. But it was my grandpa, my dad, my dad's brother, uncle, my mom, my aunt, my uncle, right? So we had that's 6 there. My 2 grandmas, right, from my mom's side, my dad's side. Me. So let's see, we're at grandpa, grandma's, dad, uncle, mom, aunt, me, my older cousin, my sister, and then we also had my other cousin coming in at the time, Aryan.
So you needed a way bigger house.
So we had like 10, 11 people trying to stay in the house. What had happened was that my grandpa had fallen sick to cancer, right?
Oh.
And so he passed away.
Oh, dude, I'm sorry.
It was like all in the same year. So we bought, like, my grandpa passed away. My sister was turning like 1, or I believe, I think that was the case. My sister was turning 1 or something, or she was just born that year. And we bought a house the same year. It was just a combination of events. That's why I remember that. Like,
yeah.
That's like why I remember that. So.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. I get that now. So how would you... I'm going to ask 2 questions. How would you describe your childhood, and also what did you like to do as a kid?
Oh, okay. And so I'm from an Indian family.
Yeah.
So you already know we got disciplined pretty hard. I think my childhood was kind of I wouldn't say it was easy going, but I wouldn't also say it was like rough either, right?
Yeah.
I definitely had some rough parts, but I was still given enough freedom. There were a lot of complications within my family. There still are to this day, and it's progressively getting worse. But it is what it is. That's life.
Complications meaning like family drama or like
basically
stuff like
drama, but mostly on my parents' side, right? Because it's like my parents actually had an arranged marriage. Don't want to throw their dirt out there, but you know, most Indian parents end up being arranged marriages, right? Sometimes, not all of them end up working out. Now it's like looked down upon if people get divorced, so they're not like
planning on it.
They're not planning on getting divorced, but at the same time, it's like watching them try to fix that or like trying to like communicate with each other is just
it's kind of hard. Yeah.
Like, and I'm stuck being the middleman half the time. It's like, ooh, I don't want to be there.
Yeah, right, no, so, I get that.
But mostly growing up as I had a lot of freedom. I definitely did. I definitely more was study based, right? So I was always forced to like study and read, right? And my English wasn't really the best. I was forced to take speech classes. So I grew up on Gujarati mostly, and I learned English later, and then my English took over my Gujarati because I used English a lot more over here. But I definitely had freedoms. I actually played soccer. I played soccer. I did basketball. I did swim, right?
Oh yeah, that's a good amount of sports.
I had a good variety.
Yeah,
there was
for sure.
A few more out there maybe that I just can't remember off the top of my head. I did them for like a season.
Yeah. So video games too, probably, I'm guessing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, video games. That was the biggest thing. I think video games were my biggest like thing that I used to do. Really, I studied a lot, played a lot of video games. I didn't have like a high-end laptop or anything. All I had was this free Windows XP computer setup that my dad got me, and I was running that thing until like 2012. I was using Windows XP until 2012. Can you believe that? Right. And that's when like Windows 10 was out. Like I believe that's when Windows 10 came out.
What were you playing on there?
Dude, I was
cool math games like Minecraft or something.
No. I didn't even have Minecraft.
Oh man.
Get this. I don't know if you even know this game. Good old Wizard 101.
Wizard? No, dude.
Dude, that game was.
Is that like World of Warcraft?
Oh, dude. No, not really. Wizard 101 was a card, kind of like a spell card.
Oh, okay,
right?
yeah.
So you would enter this. You would go on quest, right? Go through it. The world was like, at that time, I thought the graphics were insane, right? I look back on that game. I actually downloaded the game, played it again for the other day, right? I bought a pass, right? Spent my $10 for a 1-month pass. I'm probably not gonna touch that game ever again. Right? I'm enjoying my time back on that game. The graphics definitely did improve, but basically the entire game was that there's storylines and there's arcs, and so like each arc had like 7 worlds, right?
Dang,
I'm not even done with that game yet. Now I'm
Yeah.
looking back, it's like there was a lot of stuff to that game. It was, and they're constantly updating it. The surprise that the servers are even still up.
Yeah.
Considering this game came out in like, I don't know, 2008.
Yeah. Damn, dude.
It was a game that came out in like 2008. Or no, I think either 2008 or 2012. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I knew I played that game, and it was just fun. All it was is like you go through the quest, and it was like you had to fight mobs, right? Fight mobs, fight bosses, and you get to the final boss, right? But when you fight the mobs, here's how it is. So there's a sigil on the ground, right? And so there's 4 mobs, 4 players, right? So at the early game, right, it's 1-to-1 ratio, right? Then you get some mid tiers 1-to-2. Now I'm sitting at a like mid to high tier, right, where it's like I'm fighting 1 or 2 or 3 enemies, or sometimes even a 4 sigil fight where it's a boss and like 3 minions, and it's just 1 person, right?
Yeah.
And so it's like it's a 1-on-1, and it's a turn-based game. So you would pick a spell and it would cast, and then you had pips, and so pips were like how much basically mana you could like gain throughout the time. So it's like throughout the game, like throughout the turns, you would get 1 more pip and 1 pip, or a golden or a power pip, and it was like a golden pip that was basically 2 pips, and so you could get stats, you can get armor and amulets and stuff that would give you more. Higher percentage on getting a power pip at the start, right? And there were gears that would give you an extra pip at the start, right? It was this like entire turn-based game, yet it was.
There was like story involved too.
There was story involved. There was this like, I don't know, dude. That entire game just made me. It was a strategy turn-based game, and it was definitely ahead of its time when it first came out, right?
That's so cool. I love being
There's nothing like that out there now. It's like there's nothing that would ever reignite that spark I had for that game. I don't think there will be. I mean, I guess League would be League of Legends is probably the second. Like it comes close to it, but not even that would be able to comprehend, like get the idea of turn-based.
I like the feeling you were kind of describing this of like going back to a game after so many years.
Yeah.
And then that feeling is like you get the nostalgia plus realizing that like now that you're older, you're able to understand more of the game.
Oh, yeah,
and
dude,
like going back,
so
it
nice.
feels like it's so easy.
Dude, here's the thing. Even going back, right? I look back at it when I was younger and understanding like this is how I played the game when I was younger. Wow, no wonder I was having a rough time. But
Yeah,
even
exactly.
Even now, it's like I go back to it and it's like, holy crap! There's still so many different strategies I could use.
Yeah.
There's still like this hard element to it, and it's. Sure, the fights may seem repetitive, right? You gotta go save the realm from destruction, right? So, like, the first arc of the story is that Malister, the final boss, he was, like, one of the teachers at the wizard school, right? And so, he was a teacher at Ravenwood. So, it has, like, this aspect of Harry Potter mixed with Pokemon.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah, that's what it kind of sounds like, actually.
And it's like it has that trading card aspect from Pokemon, but it has that magical aspect from Harry Potter. And that's why I love that game so much. It combined Harry Potter and Pokemon into one.
Yeah.
Oh my god, this is my game. And you can have pets too. You can have pets, and the pets aren't just for decoration. They'll even grant you spells, or they'll be able to do cast spells, which is actually a newer function that came out more recently, where they can cast spells by themselves based on certain conditions. So whether, say you get hit by the enemy, right? It might trigger a chance on the pet being able to cast a spell back, or cast a shield on you, or heal you too. And so, it's not pay to win completely, right? But there is a paywall.
Yeah.
There is a paywall. So in my opinion, Wizard 101 should make the entire first arc free, but you only get like the first world free up, and you don't even get the entire.
And you said there's like 7, right?
There's 7 worlds in an arc.
Damn.
There's like 3 arcs right now. I'm in arc 2. I'm in arc 2.
And there's 3.
Yeah, and I'm on Chrysalis. I think like I think that world and one more world after, and then I finish arc 2. But so basically, arc 1 is like Malister. This guy wants to destroy Ravenwood and destroy the magic schools. He wants to destroy the wizard realm, right?
That sounds just like Harry Potter, bro.
Right.
Yeah.
With Voldemort, right? And then as you progress, then now arc 2 is you get introduced to this new concept of shadow magic, right?
Yeah.
There's this concept of shadow magic and buffs, and it's like you can buff your spells, you can make your spells stronger using different and it's like enchantments, and shadow magic, right, that they introduced, and to like element, or what was it? It was like star schools, right? So you have the star, the sun, and the moon, right? So those schools get introduced, and you have shadow magic, right? So they introduced this concept into it now. And then in Arc 3, I haven't gotten there yet, but I have seen some cool things.
Like clips and stuff?
Clips of like some of the stuff that like, some of the spells you can get, some of like the fights. So Arc 2 is all about this witch that like that was sealed up but now is free, and she wants to get her deck back and destroy the spiral.
Yeah.
Which is basically the spiral contains all the realms. And then Arc 3 is the I think it's like the Spiral Father who's corrupted, and he's the god basically of the spiral, and now you're fighting God at the end. Is like,
that's crazy. That's crazy. Holy shit.
But that was my childhood game.
Yeah. And
it's like, even coming back to it, it still has a difficulty aspect. It still has that fun thinking, and it's like, it was a great piece.
That's sick, dude. Dude, bro, no, like I play like Mario Bros and shit, but like I think like Hello.
I'm jealous of people that have that. Dude.
Yeah, I liked Hello. Do you ever play Hello Neighbor?
Oh yes, dude. I actually played it in beta.
That was one of my favorites, bro.
I played it in beta when I pirated it.
I played Minecraft in beta.
Did you really?
Yeah. Oh, like what year was that? Like when it came out. But I remember playing it, and then maybe like a full year later, it became like the most popular game in the world. Dude. And I'm like, dude, guys, I've been playing this for
forever, right?
for a while already. I don't know what you guys talking about. Like,
do you what's it called? I don't know. Did you ever have the console, like Xbox? So on Xbox 360 Minecraft, right?
Yeah, that one's fun.
The tutorial world.
Dude.
I don't know if you guys remember that. If any of y'all remember the tutorial
That's
world.
The best, though.
The tutorial world was something that, like, out of that world, and I had made this, like, I can still remember clearly what I made, right? I had turned the entire, like, stone place, right? Into, like, diamonds, and then there was, like, I used diamond blocks, but, like, I made that place look so nice, right?
Yeah. On survival?
No, dude. It was a creative, bro. Like, you think I messed up creative? Survival? Yeah. I was not one of those. I was using creative.
Yeah.
But what I did was, right, you had the sand temple out, like, to the left. Right?
Yeah.
And then you had, like, the castle in the middle.
Yeah.
And then out to your right, you had the farm.
Yeah, right? Dude, the funny part is, like, I know exactly what you're talking about. I remember that world.
And then they changed it to then it was like, oh, now you have this castle over here, but you have like these street stalls, right? That was the second version of it. But the OG tutorial world, right? I turned that castle fully into diamonds, and then I added like this layer. So like 7 different floors, right? I created like 100-floor hotel, like from where the farm was.
Yeah.
Created this, and then on one of the floors, right? I made it like 100 by 100 blocks, right? Something like that, some insane amount.
Damn, dude.
And it was like every floor, 7 floors of that. And it was like each floor would be different. One floor was farming only. One floor was smelting only. One floor was like armors and enchanting only, right? And so on, right? Each floor represented each creative menu bar. And so it was just insane.
And then
my baby sister pushed my Xbox off the
dude.
And then,
dude, Dimple, what the heck, bro?
Not Dimple, Divya.
Oh, you have another one?
I have 2 younger sisters, yeah. So
dude.
Divya was the youngest at the time, dude. It was on our little like stand, and she pushed it back. The DVD got scratched. Disc reader gone, so I can't even use the disc reader anymore. So I can't even play games on it. Dude. And then I don't know what happened, but then it's like it completely shit itself.
Yeah,
it like absolutely crapped out, and it would just red dot the entire time. I couldn't even turn it on, and then it just refused to turn on after that.
You got the red. Oh man, dude.
So that Xbox
the red dot
was
is scary.
Fried, and it's like very upsetting. I think I still have the console. I might be able to take the hard drive out and put it in a new Xbox. But do I really want to buy a new Xbox 360?
Probably. I mean, I got one, but
I'll take it off.
Actually, I got like all 3 of them. All 4 of them. I got the OG Xbox.
The OG Xbox?
Yeah, the original.
Oh, dude.
And then I have the 360, the 1, and then the Series X. No, but what I was gonna say is we were driving to like Tower Hill. It's like a campground, right?
Yeah.
And I was playing on my DS, right? I don't know if you had one.
No,
but
I didn't.
I was playing.
I had a PSP.
Yeah? Yeah, you had a PSP? Yeah, that one's sick. I remember playing Minecraft on that. But dude,
I have the PlayStation. I have PSP. I have PS2. I have the PS3. I had the Xbox 360. I have an Xbox One.
Yeah.
I have the Xbox Series.
Series X.
S.
Oh,
Right?
S. Yeah.
S. Because the Xbox Series X is out right now, right?
Yeah.
That's the newer one, right? I have the Xbox Series S.
Yeah.
Right? And my cousin Himanshu, he's got the PS4. So I'm like, I have all these.
You have everything, dude.
He has the DSs too. He's got and he has the Wii U.
Yeah.
He's got the Wii. So like,
shit.
So I'm just holding all these, and then I have a PC and a laptop too. And I'm like,
yeah,
Jesus. But all those, I think I ended up. The Xbox 360 was a gift. It was like a birthday gift or a Christmas gift, and then the Xbox One was also a Christmas gift.
Yeah.
Every other or on the PSP was a birthday gift, right? I think I got consoles like maybe once every 3 or 4 years, right?
Yeah.
Everything else that I owned was bought by me.
That's sick, dude. That's hard to do, especially like if you're like from younger ages.
I scammed the dude for that Xbox Series S. Like it was when I got that last year actually. So when the Series S came out last year, right?
Yeah,
or something like that. It was what, like $350 or something like that.
The X or the
Series S?
The S. I don't know what the S was.
S was like $350, almost $400, somewhere around there at that time. I got it for like $150. I bought that shit for $150, dude. And I took it home. I was like, mine now.
Yeah, that's hilarious. So, going back to what I was gonna say.
Yeah, my bad.
Sorry, no, but that's a solid tangent. What I was gonna say is I was playing the DS, right? Mm-hmm. And I was playing what's it called? The Lego Star Wars: The Complete Saga, right?
Yeah.
And I got so far. I had like almost everything completed, right? And I unlocked like some character I was so excited to have, right? And I don't know. I think I let my brother play it like once, dude. I let him play like once. And when I went back to it, everything was gone.
He went to save.
I don't know how he did that because I don't know what the heck he did, but like from then on, dude, everything was gone, and I was so mad. I had to go back and redo everything.
Dude,
I was what, like 5 or 6?
Yeah.
Yeah, that must have been like, I think that was like 2nd grade. Dang. That was second grade because I remember right before we left, my old dog died.
Oh.
And I remember being sad about that, and then getting there, I was already like crying. And then my game was gone, and I was so mad. I was so mad, dude. Yeah. That sucked though.
I think on the PSP there was one game that I played a lot, and then my save got corrupted. So I was very, very
dude.
upset. But I think going back to it after my save got corrupted, I ended up getting further and getting a lot more. So I was like, you know what? I'm not even mad anymore. So I got a lot more. And
you knew how to do everything.
Yeah, and I found like more hidden tricks afterwards.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know if anyone knows it. It was called Burnout Legends. That was the game name.
Is that like driving then?
Yeah, it was a car game, and so it was a racing game, and I managed to unlock like almost everything near the end.
That's
sick.
Like
every now I have the game, and I still play it every now and then.
Okay, yeah.
Just like if I'm bored, I'm like randomly, you know what I haven't played in a while? Burnout Legends.
Yeah.
Pop it open, see if I can turn it on, and it's like, it's like I turn it on maybe once every like year. It's like a once in a blue moon type of thing.
Yeah.
It's like, it's worth it every now and then.
For sure, bro. Okay, so moving on from like hobbies and video games and stuff, I want to talk about like high school.
Oh, yeah.
Did you enjoy high school? What did you enjoy about high school?
Okay.
So let's do like what did you enjoy about high school? What did you not enjoy?
I'm gonna be real with you.
Yeah.
I wasn't there half the time at high school.
Yeah.
No.
Did you ditch a lot or?
It wasn't even ditching, right? So like freshman year came through, right? I showed up perfect attendance, right?
Yeah.
I think I maybe had one sick call, so I wasn't like a perfect attendance. But freshman year I went through, right? Everything. One thing I loved about BHS was most of my teachers that I got, right? Most of the time, all the teachers I got were like phenomenal.
Who was your favorite?
Oh god, dude, I had a lot of favorites. I don't think he no longer teaches there, but I would have to say either Mr. Alioto.
Yeah, I don't think I've heard of him.
Yeah, some of y'all probably know him, but Mr. Alioto used to teach Algebra 2, I believe. Yeah, I had him for sophomore year. So, Algebra 2, because I took it after geometry. Yeah, so he taught Algebra 2, Mr. Alioto, and then I think for my English teacher, I don't know, dude. I actually had a lot of good English teachers. I had like Mr. Davis freshman year.
Oh, Davis is my favorite.
I
bro.
had Mez sophomore year.
Yeah.
I forgot what. Oh, I had Miss Peacock for junior year.
Yeah.
I was like, I had her twice because I had her in 8th grade and I had her. I was like, oh, hey, Miss Peacock, right? And then I had Besh for my senior year. So I was like, I had some phenomenal English teachers.
You definitely did, yeah.
So I was like very happy. So I can't even like compare them. But
I love Davis. Davis is one of my favorites.
Davis was great.
He wrote my letter of rec.
Really?
Yeah.
Besh did. I think Besh wrote mine.
I had Shiata.
Oh.
And then maybe Bez. I might have had Bez.
I think the best way to categorize them is that Davis was the best freshman year teacher.
Yeah.
Bez was the best sophomore year teacher. Let's see. Miss Peacock. I think Miss Peacock was definitely one of the best junior year teachers. Cause I don't remember any.
She was so chill though. I mean,
she mellowed out from my middle school.
Yeah, middle school. I remember her class was like the hardest I ever had in my life, bro.
Oh God.
Yeah.
And then I gotta say, senior year English teachers was a hard pick, but I'm gonna have to go with Bash.
Yeah.
Bash was just so fun to be around, work with. Just he helped me out with my graduation speech.
That's sick.
And everything. So it's like, but here's the thing, right? Freshman year I was there. Senior year I was there. But if you look at me from freshman year versus senior year, I am two completely different people.
Yeah.
Freshman year, I was an introvert, dude. I didn't like going out and talking to no one, right? I hung out with a few small group of people just to like look like I fit in, so I'm not like this lonely ass kid just like lying in a corner or doing nothing, right? That was me. I was just trying to fit in, right? Sophomore year rolls around, I fit in a little bit, right? But like I still mostly kept to myself for like that first half of the year. I mostly like surrounded myself with like older people, to be honest.
Yeah.
I just liked hanging around with older people. Once COVID hit, we got hit with COVID. Junior year was all online. I did my entire junior year online, right?
That killed everything, right?
Blur.
Yeah.
Absolute blur. Right? I don't remember crap about it. That's probably why I was doing so bad in calculus during Miss Wagner. She's a calc teacher. No,
I don't know. I don't know Wagner.
No, Wagner was an English teacher. What am I saying? There was this calc BC teacher. I
Yeah.
don't remember her name now.
Wettendorf.
Not Wendorf.
I don't know.
There's something else that I heard. She's like, my sister's in her class.
I have no idea. I never took that.
Oh, dude, Calc BC was a pain. And so, like, I chat GPT'd my way through, basically.
Yeah.
What's it called?
Shoot, dude.
Pre-calc. So, like, I cheated my way through pre-calc. I'm not even going to lie to that. I don't remember crap, right? I look up all the answers, Chag, Mathway, right?
We don't condone this, by the way.
Do not cheat.
Cheating's bad.
Cheating is bad. Both in relationships and in school. Don't do that.
Yeah, dude.
I've never cheated. I'm just saying. But I know people that have, and it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But I think those are like.
That's basically it.
That was basically my high school. So when we hit the COVID cutoff, right?
Yeah, you came back and.
Yeah, but when it started, right, senior year or
sophomore year, yeah.
When sophomore year, halfway through the year, then they dropped school because it was COVID, and then they came back to shoot online, right? For that, until the end of the school year, right, I was at home, played video games, was in my room watching anime, playing video games, right, doing, like, my schedule was screwed. I'm telling you, like, I would stay up until 3 a.m., wake back up at 6 a.m., back on a game or watching anime, or, like, I would even do a small, there was this one thing that I used to do with, my friends Jack, Jason, Kyle, right? We'd all download this app called 30-Day App Workout, right? And we would do that. So I would do a small workout. So I'd wake up at 6, I'd shower, eat, and I'd do my workout. I'd wake up, do my workout, shower, eat, hop on the game, and then I'd just be on the game from then to like 3 a.m. again. I'd only come out from my room to go eat food, right? My mom was pissed, right? But yeah, that was that. And then once school ended, right, my dad comes, he comes home and he's like, hey, you should come to the hotel. I need your help here. I need you to work here. I was like, okay, cool. Never went, right? But then I guess we all decided to go to my dad's hotel for a weekend. Little did I know, I thought I packed my bags for 2 days. Right? I was like, I got my bags for Saturday. I got my bags for
You ended
Sunday.
up staying quarantining here, didn't you?
No, what had happened was my mom had packed an entire separate bag with clothes for the duration of a week. Right?
Oh,
I didn't even
what?
know. I didn't
Dude,
even know
what?
she packed this bag.
That's
right?
wild.
So we're at the hotel, right? We spent a few days there, right? Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
Sunday rolls around, and we're like, all right, it's time to go back, right? And as I'm getting ready to leave, she's like, where are you going? I'm like, my dad's like, yeah, where are you going? I'm like, what do you mean? I'm going back home. And he's like, no, you're not. I'm like, Mom, right? I'm coming back home. And she's like, no, you're not. You're staying with your dad. I was like, what? She's like, yeah, you're staying with your dad. I was
That's
like,
so weird.
What? So I don't have my computer. I don't got anything. All I got was my phone, my charger.
So you can even do, you had to do school through your phone. You had to do Zoom through your phone.
This was
during the summer?
Yeah, so school had already ended. So this is why my mom had dropped me off initially.
Yeah.
She didn't want me at home playing video games all the entire time. Like, my friend Jack would literally have to drag me out of the house just to go outside because I didn't like going out, right, when I was younger. So my friend had a lot of times my mom didn't even like me going out, but she would yell at me, right? It was a big contradiction. She was like, go outside, go play. But every time I wanted to go outside, she's like, no, you can't go outside. I'm like, what? Right?
Yeah.
Take your mind up. But
that's funny.
it was, Jack would literally drag me out of the house sometimes. I remember him coming to my house one day because I was still sleeping. And I think this was during COVID. We woke up early morning, right? And he wanted me to go somewhere with him. He comes into my house, right? Because my mom tells him that I'm still sleeping, right? And she's like, what? He's like, can I wake him up? And my mom's like, yeah, go for it. And so he comes in with this bottle of water and just starts dumping it on my head.
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, oh, bro, why? He's like, get up, we gotta go. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Like he would literally, he would be it's probably the only reason why I went out most of the time. Otherwise I didn't.
Because he dragged you out, yeah.
Most of the time I would come out, just say it when he'd call or when he'd come to my house, knock, be like, all right, cool, put my shoes on and go. Because I'm not doing really anything else important. But that was really just the case.
Yeah.
Just trying to get out. But again, I was at the hotel. So that summer of sophomore year, I spent at the hotel, or the summer of junior year, right? Then when summer ended, right, during that summer I also got my permit and everything too. But that entire summer I was there, electrical work, right? I had started picking up, I shadowed this electrician that used to, my dad would call, and then I started picking up things on electrical work from there. I shadowed the plumber, and I started learning a lot of the plumbing works. And so my dad never called the plumber again because he would charge $300 an hour or some crap like that, right? So then I would 90% of the time I would fix it. If it was something to do with the heating tank, right, or the water heater or the water what's it called, water purifier, right? He would call the plumber for that. But anything else, I could be able to
around the house.
Yeah, kind of around the house type of stuff. But I could fix. I could replace toilets. I could replace faucets. I could replace.
Damn, dude.
Pipes.
That's good stuff to know too.
Exactly. And so.
Did you learn that from YouTube, or you just picked it up from different people?
Just shadowing the plumber,
oh, okay.
Right? So I would shadow the plumber, and I would just take all the knowledge, and I would ask questions. Because my dad had this big thing. He's like, go stay with the guy and make sure he doesn't take anything, right?
Yeah.
You never know. People are so instead of I would be there, but I also didn't want to make it look like I'm just standing there awkwardly. So I'd ask and watch and ask questions and try to put, get my hands in there too, so that way it looked like I'm just trying to learn, right? And so if they'd be asking, why are you here? I'm just want to see and learn how you do it, right? Yeah. And they'd be like, oh, okay. And then they start teaching me. The electrician would actually give me tasks to do every now and then, and me, him, and my dad, they're pretty close. So my dad and him are pretty close. So Mark, Mark taught me basically everything I need to know about electrical work, right? So
that's sick though.
The
that's
only
sick.
thing
that's
I
so
guess
cool.
I can't really do is but I know how to do it, is running a new power line from the breaker to anywhere else, right?
Yeah.
So anything I could I know how to do it. Am I allowed to? Probably not. Probably not, because I'm not licensed.
But you know how to.
I know how to, yeah.
Okay.
But so I learned that. I learned business and management. I learned front desk. I learned financing. I started my own business. I got my own vending machine business. And it's all that experience built up. So that was all.
I think I remember you telling me about that once. The vending machine stuff. Yeah.
So all that was during the quarantine time, right?
Yeah.
So the entire time where we couldn't go out and we did all our schooling online, right? So then once summer ended, I went back home. I grabbed my laptop or my PC and I set it up at my dad's place at the hotel. And so that way I could do my school and I could also work at the hotel. I think mostly avoided school. Like I would only check the homeworks and I would turn on a Zoom, and most of the time I wouldn't even be in that class, right? What I would do is I'd have this video set up, right? And I just pop my green screen, pop the video on the green screen, and just dip.
Dude.
Right? That was how I did it half the time.
That's crazy.
Because I was like, I don't want to be here. I have other stuff to do. I have work to finish, right?
Yeah.
And I was on a monthly pay. I was getting like $1,000 a month, right?
Yeah.
Untaxed. Like, it might not seem a lot now, right? But like, I was
that was
15,
a lot back then.
16
Yeah.
years old, right? Getting $1,000 a month, right, was really helpful.
That's a good amount.
And
for
then
that
I
age.
also started my Roth IRA. Like,
yeah.
That's why I say high school didn't exist. I was already hit with the reality of real life.
That's valid.
I was doing more real life work than actual high school stuff, and I honestly am very glad for that opportunity. Like even like at first it was forced upon and I didn't like it, but I think embracing it and seeing it for what base value it had and learning and taking that as an opportunity to further my life and like set up a base and improve, I think that was definitely a big step towards the future, because my vending machine payments, like all the money I make from my vending machine payments, cover enough to refill and cover my car payments. Like it basically makes enough to cover my car insurance.
To like survive, yeah.
Yeah, to basically like, oh cool, that does it so much by itself that I don't have to worry as much about my bills. Now, I'm not saying my bills slap me in the face half the time.
Yeah.
I don't even know where my paychecks go half the time, but that's also because I do spend a lot. But that was my high school experience. I come back senior year, and then I was like, I remember the first assembly we didn't have a hawk. So the entire premise of this, right, was sometime in junior year, when junior year started, I had lost a bet with with one of my exes, and we were playing Rainbow Six Siege. And I got pretty far into that game, right? I was thinking it was almost diamond or was diamond, I don't remember. But I was around that level, right? I ended up getting in a lobby with TSM Myth, right? TSM Myth, and
is he a streamer?
Yeah, TSM is a Siege team.
Oh, okay. Okay. So it's the whole team.
TSM, not TSM. God, what can I remember now? Bolo. It was Bolo, not Myth. It was Bolo. I remember getting in a game with him. I was like, what the hell? Yeah, it was just insane.
That's dope.
Like, there was the entire TSM team. There was like TSM Bolo.
And
like I was like, oh god, SSG team. I remember going against them once, but like it was insane.
And then so you guys were playing that, and then there was so if you lost, you had to become the mascot, or what? Is that what happened?
No. The bet was, so here's how it happened. The bet I made was that my ex had saw a maid costume on TikTok, and like you know the masculine man that wears a maid costume.
Yeah.
So she saw a video of that. She's like, you should do this. I was like, hell no.
Yeah, exactly.
I am not wearing a maid costume.
No.
This is how I ended up getting a maid costume. I basically bet her. I said the only chance I'm getting this maid costume is if you hit a what was it called? Like a hip fire headshot with the revolver, right? I will. Oops, I just hit the mic. Oops.
Yeah, no, that's alright.
If you hit a hip fire headshot with the revolver, I will get a maid costume. She literally like not even like a minute after I said that, she just all I hear is just seeing on the kill screen headshot revolver, right? Ooh. I was like, huh? And she's like, I think I did it. I was like, no way. Let me see. I was like, it was a one tap, right? And she's like, yeah.
Did she like screen record?
I saw the clip, yeah.
Oh, she saw it. What?
She clipped it. What? She clipped it. And then so I saw the screen record and I'm just like,
no way.
Damn.
Dude, what?
Ended up buying a maid costume. And that comes into play later. So I had it, I wore it, and then I got made. I turned into a meme for it.
Oh, dude.
I got turned into a meme
dude, no. That's my biggest fear.
Right, and so
I'm never gonna dress.
So then, senior year comes rolling around, right? I had broken up with my girl at this time, but my friend Jack was with me. He's like, I was like, do you think I can? I was like, what if I put that helmet on and become the mascot? He's like, because he's like, he told me that next time that they have an assembly, I should run around with the maid costume with a mascot hat on, right? That's what he told me. Like, if I just wear the mascot costume with the maid outfit on top of it, he's like, I don't know, you can ask. I was like, so I went up to Demo, right? I went up to Principal Demo, and I asked him, and he's like, you can just become the mascot. We need one. So I was like, really? He's like, yeah. And so I became the mascot, and that's how I became the mascot.
That's
and
it. So, the origin story.
This is the origin story. Yeah, it's crazy how the idea of just trying to like making something like the idea of doing something dumb, or just wearing a maid costume and running around with the mascot head on.
Yeah.
Right? It turned into me being a mascot for the year, and it was a really fun time, low key. And then we had that Halloween party. As some of y'all that attended.
Was that like the what's it called? I remember seeing everybody with like a shirt like freshman year that said "Haunted Homecoming" or something like that. Was that
I don't think it was.
That's not the same thing.
It was Nate's Halloween party, and it was.
Oh, so this was like this is like a house party.
Yeah, it was a house
party.
Okay,
yeah.
And so there was alcohol and everything, right? So Nate invited me, right? He's like, "You should come." I was like, "Okay, cool," and he's like, "You have to bring a costume."
You didn't dress as the. No way.
I didn't have any other costume.
Wait. Was it the maid or was it the?
It was the maid.
Oh my gosh, dude, no.
I went as a maid.
Why?
Because he said I didn't have a single other costume.
Oh my gosh.
And I was just like, oh.
DIY, bro. DIY.
I was like,
you have to make your own.
I didn't have enough time. It was like I had an hour left before the party. I was like,
bro,
fuck it. Put the costume on. Went over there, and everyone was actually vibing with it. Everyone fucked with it.
Oh my gosh, dude!
Kayla So was there. Like everyone was fucking with it. And then next thing you know, you have this maid that's 18 shots in, throwing up.
Oh my gosh!
Turned into a meme and just trying to fight people. And it was like, yeah, not a very fun time.
Oh my gosh!
I was getting carried out of the house.
That's funny.
I was getting carried out of the
dude.
house. Yeah. So there's probably a video of me somewhere of a maid Indian boy getting carried out of a house party.
What?
And then trying to
fight people.
Yeah, trying to fight.
Yeah.
It wasn't people. It was more like Amanda, Jack's girlfriend, because Jack had come to pick me up. Yeah, so like Jack.
And you didn't want to leave or something?
Yeah. So like, they were trying to get me in the car. I don't know if I have a picture here.
That's crazy.
That turned into a complete meme here. Right here. I have it saved because it was like one of the funniest things.
What the hell, dude?
Yeah. It is right here.
Dude, bro, you are gone.
I was.
You were gone, dude. I've seen that face before.
Yeah, you have. Yeah, that's probably floating around. And
no, I like. Oh my god, yeah, bro, you became a meme.
Oh,
dude, what?
Dude,
bro,
it was insane. It was insane. But
what the hell?
apparently, I was like, what Jack was telling me, he's like, yeah, you were pretty much the life of the party before everything just got shut down because cops got called.
And so that was junior.
I don't know if that's
that was junior or senior year.
That was senior year.
Okay.
During Nate's Halloween party during October, and then it was senior year was me just living it up because like I had already signed my contract to go in.
Yeah.
Start of senior year.
Yeah. Okay. So at what point? It is Marines, right? So at what point did you decide that you wanted to become a Marine? And when did just to go back, when did you sign that contract?
I think so. At the point I decided, so like you can only sign once you've turned senior or 18.
18, right? Yeah.
So I signed at the beginning of senior year. As soon as senior year started, right? As soon as I turned 17 and was like a senior, I went to MAPS and I got in, right? I think the point where I wanted to join the military was around junior year, right? I had already thought about it the year prior, near the end. I was like, I really don't want to sit in a classroom for another 4 years. I don't want to do more school for 4 years. Now, that's not saying I didn't want to do it. I didn't ever want to do it. I just didn't want to do it at that time. And I know I could have taken a gap year, right? But then I spent a year doing nothing with like. If I had taken a gap year, there's not really much options I had. I could have gone and worked at my dad's hotel for a year and just helped him repair, but at the same time, there was a lot of other stuff I could have done. That year, I wanted to do something more. I was like, there's a lot more I can do than just sit in school and I want to go travel. I want to go see. I want to go enjoy other places. I'm stuck in Illinois for too long. Even though I grew up here, it's like you run out of things to do. It's not the best town to be in.
So at what point, or what inspired you? Was it somebody that you knew, or?
Kind of, actually. I had a buddy, Patrick, right?
Yeah.
I met him online, right? There's a lot of people, a lot of my good friends have actually been people I've met on Discord low-key, because they've just, I have a friend right now, Sawyer. He's met him on Discord. He's a cool-ass dude. Met him on League. Known him for like 2 years, but he's probably one of the realest homies I have. Like, same with
That's
Jack.
dope, yeah.
Jack I've known forever, right? He's a childhood friend. Jack, Jason, Kyle, I've known them forever, childhood friends. But like some of the realest people you will ever meet are sometimes people that you meet in games, and if you get really close with them, you'll see like that they're, I don't know, there's just a connection with some gamers, but like
yeah, I get that.
There were some people that I met that were part of the military at that time, and I just thought like what they got to do, the opportunities that came for them, and like this entire view of it, even though like there were some sucky aspects, right? Don't get me wrong, the military, you know, sunshine and rainbows, it's never about that. It's not all of these good things that you see. You're not gonna get a Dodge Challenger, Dodge Charger like right after boot camp. I mean, you could go ahead.
That'd be dope.
With a 30% APR, yeah, go for
Hell
it, right?
no.
But you're not gonna get anything like that right off the bat, like as most people say you would. But you do now have this merit of being this like part of that top few percent that now is part of the service. You made the cut to be part of the service, and then you just gotta. It's like a strive for self improvement, but it's like at first it gets forced onto you, but then you fall into the culture of it. When you fall into the culture of it, now you strive for that self improvement. Now you gotta strive to do something. And that's like where I think that gap year really went towards. And that was like, I didn't want to go to the hotel and work. I already did that for 2 years. And I'm going to do the same repetitive thing. I'm not going to really pick up any new skills. And it's just going to be like, I'm going to earn some money. But there's no other experience I'm going to get, right? I also don't want to sit in class through lectures and all that for a while again either. I already did that for 12 years. I already did that. I don't want to repeat that. I don't want to go through that again. So I wanted to do something different. Now, there's not many Indians that join the military. That is a completely separate route and completely different thing. But I had gotten a notification from a recruiter in the Marine Corps, right? So what had happened was like I was looking through like college applications. I was, I'd force myself to join college, right? Go to college. But then it was like, as I'm looking through colleges, right, I get a notification from Instagram from this Marine recruiter, Sergeant Delgado. He's staff sergeant now, but he's like messaged me. He's like, hey, I'm this so and so, right? I'm doing so and so. And he's just talking to me, and I'm like, he's like, have you ever thought of the military? And I was like, I'd always had that. Most guys have this. Like, like an assassin, or like this guy that's like gung ho, right? From COD and all that. Or Assassin's Creed, right? Because I was a big fan of
Exactly,
COD and
yeah.
Assassin's Creed, right?
A lot of guys
I
have
always wanted to be. I always grew up wanting to be like this assassin reaper type of dude, right?
Yeah.
And so I was like, you know what? Yeah, I guess so. I kind of had these aspirations, and so he's like, here, have you ever thought about the Marine Corps? I tricked my parents to get them to go to the Marine Corps office. I had told them, hey, we're gonna go see this career counselor, which isn't technically wrong, right? They are a career counselor, and so took them over there. They sat down, we talked about my future, we talked about my, like, what they could offer me, and I just was like, you know what, this seems it, like, this is it, this is what I want to do for my gap year, and I can always do my college. I am doing my college while I'm in right now, and I am dual majoring to get my associates and in both, or to get an MBA and a bachelor's in comp sci. I'm currently dual majoring to get my associates in both from a community college, so once I get those, I can transfer.
What community college?
I'm going to Saddleback Community College.
Okay.
It's in California, right?
Damn.
That's where I'm stationed at.
Oh, okay.
I'm stationed. I've been in California for like the last year and a half now. So, and then basically, I signed that contract off, went through senior year, and that's why I was living like balls to the wall senior year. I mean, I was kind of the one that helped orchestrate all the senior pranks, right?
Yeah.
I was part of the planning committee, dude.
Yeah.
I helped plan that out and everything with them. So we had one day was toilet paper. I think the first day was water balloons. Second day was bad parking. Third day was toilet paper. Fourth day was the chickens, and then the fifth day, the final one, which really pissed the principal off. But
it was the motorbike.
The motorbike.
Yeah,
Michael
dude, that was
Ionelli.
wild.
Speaking of which, Michael Ionelli didn't get to walk.
Yeah, he didn't get to walk, and I heard he also got arrested for something else
too. Dude, that popped up on my feed. I was like, Michael Ionelli got arrested?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Dude, that was wild.
Mainly because
that kid was wild, bro.
He was. Now, he was a dealer, right?
I'm pretty sure,
yeah. I wasn't big on, like, drugs or, like, weed or anything like that, but I
never did it. I still haven't done anything.
Yeah, so. I was a drinker. I think the first time that I guess, like, smoked weed, right, or anything they did with weed was when I hit the bong at Nate's Halloween party.
Oh, that same party?
The same party.
That's crazy.
I was crossfaded. I was like 18 shots in or something like that, and I'm just sitting on the bong like, I was like, and I took Sean and Kayla were like, don't take too long, and I'm just sitting there like, I'm dying.
Oh my gosh.
I took a longer hit than I was supposed to.
Yeah.
And I took way too much, and I was absolutely gone. That was it.
Gone.
That was gone. That was it.
I was gonna say that face looked like you're gone.
I don't remember anything, right? Yeah. I don't remember anything. I think the one thing I do remember is trying to argue against my mom, telling her that I'm not drunk because I stumbled trying to go up the stairs 3 different times. That was one big thing. But yeah, no. I think the only time that I knew him from Sebastian. I hung out with Sebastian.
Yeah.
Old Tong and Abby and all them, right? I was part of their group for like a while, and then I just kind of fell off from them. I don't remember what happened. There was like a small drama, and then I broke off from them. I didn't care too much. Right?
Yeah.
But I knew Michael Ionelli from Sebastian, and one big thing was that I did buy from him. I bought a car from him, and that was because
oh, that's sick.
Yeah, I didn't want to try it because like I didn't like the smell of weed. I don't like weed, right? That's not my thing. I want to try edibles in the future. Like once I'm out of the Marine Corps, then I'll do edibles for one time.
Yeah, because you guys get tested, right? Or drug
tested?
Yeah, I heard.
So we can't really do anything. It's like
I figured. It's,
allegedly, we can't really do anything. Like,
yeah, I'm pretty sure.
There's people that do.
Yeah.
Like it's the military, right?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of like you'll see a lot of it, but like some people end up getting caught with like cocaine.
Oh,
stuff
shoot,
like that.
yeah.
It's like what? How'd you get like? There's some dude that got popped for like having a couple pounds of cocaine. Like,
damn, dude.
Where did you even get this?
That's expensive too.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's just crazy, but like people do shrooms and all that even while they're in because like shrooms is you can't get tested for that. You can just pop.
Yeah.
People still do it. There's all these things that people still do. As long as you're smart about it, you get away with it. And
yeah.
like, but I'm not gonna really test my luck.
You're not gonna
test
try
my luck.
it. Yeah.
Right. So. Yeah, but
that makes sense. Okay, so you did basic training, right?
Yeah. So,
what was training for? What was like that whole camp like?
Okay, so boot camp is surprisingly not a lot of physical, right? There is still physical stuff that like definitely did break me down, right? But it's a lot more of the mental aspect. It attacks you a lot more mentally, right? So it was a
it's like whether or not to give up or not.
Yeah,
like that.
They would. I don't know, cause like I remember them saying that, hey, you can't really tell many people about what happens in you because like some of the stuff they do is like, I don't know if it is like.
Yeah, it's probably not. Yeah.
But, like there's a lot of things that like they can do, but it's like, it's not hazing, it's training, right? They say,
yeah.
Right, but mostly what it is basically calling you a piece of shit, saying you're worthless, right? And trying to break you down mentally so they can rebuild you. And it really shows because like what they do is they completely shave your heads, right? You're forced to be bald the entire time. They shave all your hair off. You're bald the entire time. You wear the same clothes. You lose the entire sense of individuality. You have this, now you are all the same thing. You are not even a person at this point. A recruit in the Marine Corps is treated like worse than dirt. That's how bad it gets sometimes. Yeah. Like. They want you to be strong. Exactly. They want you to be strong. I think that definitely, like, I had a pretty strong mentality going in, right?
Yeah.
And I think even coming out of that after, my mentality was pretty solid. Like
yeah.
Not much could really.
That's the most important thing, I think.
Right. There's really nothing that could really faze me as much, and it's like. You kind of need that sometimes to see some of the stuff that happens in there. It's like you see. I've already seen like 2 or 3 suicides.
Oh shoot!
Right,
that's awful.
I've seen one done in front of me, and I was like, not in front of me, but like you could see it happen. It was like on I was at 29 Palms in California, and this guy just like popped the bullet, and like he climbed up on like the 4th floor, and then on the balcony, just popped his head and just like you see his body like fall down. I was like, what the hell? It was like it's bad to say you don't. It's bad to say you get used to it, but it's also like you kind of do. You just kind of like see it, and it's like, oh shit.
It's kind of like
sucks, but it's like
what's that called? I forgot what that's called.
What? Like,
not like you're becoming
desensitized.
That's what I'm thinking.
You start becoming a little desensitized because it's like I don't know if you've seen it already this year, but like if you've seen the suicides this year already, like it's only been 2 days, and I think we're sitting at like 6,000 or something.
Damn,
like that.
Dude.
6,000 suicides this year, and it's only 2 days.
That's freaking crazy.
2 days. I could be wrong. It's either 4,000 or 6,000, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
But I was seeing that, I'm like, that's sad. That is
sad.
It's sad to see that. But seeing it happen in front of you, I think it's more you're just in shock, and it hasn't kicked in like this person really just died in front of me.
Yeah.
Like, you see all these videos of car accidents and stuff like that, but it's like when you see it in front of you, it's like
it's traumatizing.
It's like, did I just see someone? And you just you're just stunned. You're just stunned.
Yeah.
You don't know what to say. You don't know.
It's like. I don't know. I can't really say anything because I've never witnessed that. So
it's off-putting. It's definitely off-putting, and it's like you think about it. You just sit there and think about it, and it's like it really it makes you question yourself in life just a lot every time you see it happen. And then it's like you just have to learn to move past it, and it's just like now you gotta like it is what it is, but like
you gotta move forward.
You have to move forward. I didn't know these people too well, so it's like it didn't affect me as much. But it's just like seeing that still in front of me. It's like, damn.
It's depressing.
Yeah, it's depressing and disturbing.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Can I ask? Because right before that, I asked just like about basic training and like stuff like that. Because I want to ask, what is your current rank in the Marines, and what's your goal?
So my current rank is a Lance Corporal, right?
And can you describe like what that means?
So basically, what that means is that I'm still a junior Marine on that term, right? So you're when you get out of let's go back to boot camp real quick so I can explain the rank system a little bit. So in boot camp, you get treated as a recruit, right? Recruit is worse than even a private. Private, you get taught the rank structure, and the rank structure is like E1, which is private. A year E0, a recruit. So E1 private, E2 PFC, which is private first class, E3 Lance Corporal. That's the entirety of the junior Marines. Now you have the NCO, which is Corporal and Sergeant. You guys are NCOs, usually are in charge of junior Marines. And then you have your staff NCOs, which is Staff Sergeant, Gunnery Sergeant, First Sergeant, Master Sergeant, and then you have your top dogs, right? That are your E9s, which are your Sergeant Major Marine Corps, and then Master Gunnery Sergeant, right? And basically, that's the structure that you get taught, right? And then you have then at boot camp, that's kind of instilled into you the structure that, like, hey, you follow these commands. You will listen to this rank because they're higher ranked than you. You listen to this person because of their rank, right? You don't have to respect them. You respect the rank. You don't have to respect the person, but you get taught to respect the rank, right?
Yeah.
You don't have to respect the person, but you have to respect the rank. That's just how it is. They've done their time. You don't have to like them, but you have to do what they say because it's just what the rank says, right? There's always things where you can challenge them, but basically at boot camp that gets instilled into you, and that's part of the mental aspect, right? The physical training is like a couple push-ups, pull-ups, right? They do a lot of like intensive training, which is just trying to do a lot of workouts in like one go, which basically is IT. If you do PT and IT, right? Or basically, PT is physical training, which is moderated. So you'll do like a certain set of activities, right, with certain reps, right? That's PT. That's your standard workout. IT is when the drill instructors just feel like fucking with you. They take you outside into the sand pit or the grass or something, and then they just yell at you push-ups, and you just like push-ups, sit-ups, high knees, and you just have to keep transitioning between them as fast as possible and scream at the top of your lungs while counting. So it's just screaming and just doing workouts the entire time.
Yeah.
You can't even catch a breath, and it's just like you're just dying.
Shoot, dude.
I remember getting dragged out on my birthday. Like I woke up an hour before lights, getting dragged out, and my kill hat's just all up on me. I'm like, God damn it, he knew it's my birthday today. And they just fuck with you, but like the physical part really isn't that difficult. Like you have that PFT, right? You get hit with the PFT and CFT, and those are like, as long as you have some, like you get built up for that. You get trained physically enough to be able to pass those requirements. Like they don't, like, I suck at running, but like,
yeah.
I passed.
But you passed, yeah.
I passed, right? And so basically they teach you all the basics of like how to be a Marine, right? How to be a proper Marine, how to take care of your uniform, how to like just the basics of Marine. And then you go to MCT, Marine Combat Training. They teach you some basic combat tactics, right? Probably nothing too like in depth, but like some basic things to like, so at least that way you're somewhat knowledgeable if you ever get called out into the field. And then you go to your schoolhouse. That's where your actual training is done for your job, and that's where your MOS. So like I went to the 2831 schoolhouse, which is in 29 Palms, California. I did my what I did for work is what I do right now is I'm a comms electronics maintenance, right? I fix communication. So like the things I fix are like the radios that the military uses, right? That the Marines use while they're out in the field, or ground satellites, aka VSATs. They're called very small aperture terminals, right? So you have them, the ground satellites that you really see, like that are like a little box, and then you have your little satellite, right? They're nothing bigger than like a birthday cake, right? They're not that much bigger, especially the new McQuissacs that came out. It's not even that much bigger than a birthday cake or this, yeah, right. But you have then the VSAT smalls, which are pretty solid, and then you have the VSAT large, which is like a trailer size, right? So they have different sizes, and you get trained on how to fix them. I specialize in that. That's my MOS, Military Occupation Specialty. So I specialize in VSATs and fixing VSATs. So,
yeah.
But I'm part of an infantry unit, not a communications unit. So we don't really use the VSATs as much as we do with radios. So now I have to learn the entire 41 MOS, which is basically the radios. So I have to learn
I was about to say, the radios.
But that's my job, and so that's where my rank falls. I'm a junior Marine that fixes radios, and so I just I might be getting promoted soon this year, hopefully before my 2-year mark, or around my 2-year mark, which is July 5th. So hopefully around then I'll pick up corporal. Yeah.
So what is your goal then?
My goal, so as in like what I'm trying to get out of the Marine Corps, or so as far as what I want out of the Marine Corps, one, the title, right? I get this title over United States Marine. I don't think there's not that many people that hold that title.
Yeah,
right? It's a
like, dope title.
It is, and so it's like Marines will give you shit for it, right?
Yeah.
If you're in the service, you'll get shit for saying, "Oh, I'm a Marine," right? That's what you get. But like when you really think about it, there's not that many people that have that title, United States Marines. Because you're surrounded by everyone that is a Marine, they're gonna give you shit for it for saying, "Oh, I'm a Marine," right? But like, to people that aren't Marines, you're idolized because they're like, the idea of a Marine is that they're like this picture perfect, like
badass
person, right? That's just the idea of it, and so it's like you get that title, and that's one thing that I'm proud to have, the title of United States Marine. I made the cut, right? I made the physical standards. I made the met all the standards for it, right? To be able to have that title. Now I gotta hold it, right? Now that I have the title, you have to also have the knowledge and the responsibilities that come with the title to be able to uphold that title. Because that title can get taken away from you. You know that?
Yeah.
It can get taken away from you.
Yeah,
because if you get dishonorably discharged, meaning you get NJP'd or like whatever, right? Meaning that, hey, you couldn't keep up with the physical standards, so you got dishonorably discharged, right? So what I'm looking to get out is, one, I got that title already. Two, like the merit, right? So all the experiences and merit that I get. So I'm gonna get free job experience, right? And then you get a lot of merit in leading and like being successful in leading Marines, right? Because once you promote to corporal, you now have junior Marines you gotta look over, and so that way now you're leading them, and so it's just like you pick up on this.
That's a leadership skill, yeah.
Exactly, and so you get that, and then you get this merit that like pops up on your like record saying yes, he was a United States Marine, he served and he did this for 5 years.
Yeah.
Right. That looks really good when you're like trying to get hired because you did this leadership. You have these credentials now, right? You have certified credentials. You have a backing essentially.
Yeah.
And then college is the next thing I want to like get out of it, right? So I'm taking advantage of. There's a lot of things that Marines don't know, and it's kind of surprising, and that's your TA, right? People think that, oh, I have to use TA for everything. Not necessarily. If you're in California and you're stationed out there, you can use something called FAFSA, which if you're in the U.S. military, I don't know if it's everywhere, but I know in California is if you're U.S. military and you are stationed in California and you're attending a California school, what FAFSA will do is it will waive tuition.
That's dope.
The entirety of the tuition, and they'll pay you essentially. You collect it because FAFSA will give you the money to pay for your tuition. But there's this thing called the federal Pell Grant, right? The federal Pell Grant.
Oh, the grant, yeah.
Yeah, the grant pays for your college, and so then FAFSA is just you're collecting FAFSA, and it's like $3K is like whatever, right? $3K a year, and it's just $3K in a pocket.
Yeah.
Or $3K a semester, I don't remember, something like that, right? $3,000 a semester, and you just pocket it. That's what I do. I just pocket my FAFSA.
Yeah.
Because I don't, like, I use like $28 to pay for the health fee, like the mandatory health fee. But otherwise, I pocket it. It's all pocketed, and then that's just how it is. And so
that makes sense.
I'm getting job experience. I'm getting to do like leadership and everything like through there. It's just you get a lot of it, and I get to travel. I'm actually going on ship next year to go to like the Eastern Islands, right? The Pacific Islands.
Oh, really?
So I'll probably be in like Japan, Korea, Sri Lanka, right? Hawaii.
That's dope.
Guam.
Yeah, that was one of my
like
questions.
Taiwan,
so where have you traveled to already? Like with being in the Marines, what places have you traveled to? Gotten to travel to?
Being in the Marine Corps.
Yeah.
I haven't gone on any travels yet, but like, here's where I have been, right? I've gone to California. Never been there in my life. Went there.
Yeah, that's like, already cool.
That's dope, right? Went there in 2022 in July, right? Did boot camp there. Then I went to MCT over in Camp Pendleton, and then I went to 29 Palms, California, and I didn't know what 29 Palms was until like I heard stories about it, right?
Yeah.
But like going there and actually seeing it, there's two sides to it. You got 29 Palms, California as in the schoolhouse, and then you have the place where people use it as a field. The field area sucks from what I hear, but the schoolhouse area is nice. Everything is walking distance. Like you have a whole mall essentially, kind of.
Yeah.
So like the Marine Corps has their own store called the MCX, right? The Marine Corps Exchange. In there, it's like a mall essentially. So you got your electronic. It's like a Walmart. It's a Walmart on base basically. It's like a better Walmart, and it's not. You don't get tax on it. There's no tax.
That's dope. Yeah.
And so you just go in, no tax, and you just get it. And then it's like everything I remember is in walking distance. So it's like my barracks were like right here. I walked like maybe 10, 15 minutes, and now I'm at this PX, at the Walmart, right?
Yeah.
Like a 10-minute walk, and I'm at this Walmart. Domino's is there. They have a game center like right there. There's a GameStop on base too. There's a Jersey Mike's, right? And it's all like it's literally everything is within walking distance. And they have a gym within walking distance. The pool. It's a desert. It is literally the desert out there. So it's like we have this pool reservoir, right, or this water reservoir. It's like, and it's a recycled water. It's recycled water. So everything that's in this is like piss, like rainwater. Everything's just water that's been recycled.
That's
and so
nasty.
in the summer, all you get is that whiff from that lake. It's called Lake Bendini, right? It's an artificial lake. You get the whiff of air, and it just smells like sewer all throughout the summer. It's like,
oh, that's nasty.
Yeah. It's so bad. It's like,
And that's right next to you guys. Dude, that's
basically it's just down there.
What the hell?
Oh, God.
Yeah.
That's 29 Palms.
That's
California.
where. That's where you are.
That's not where I'm at.
Okay.
That's where it was at.
And then you moved there.
And then I moved to Camp Pendleton, California.
Yeah.
Which is like 20 minutes from the beach, which is much nicer.
That's nice. Yeah.
I'm in the mountains now. I'm in the mountains. I'm probably gonna be headed up to Bridgeport in. Actually, I don't think.
That's also in California?
Yeah, Bridgeport's in California. That's their snowy region. That's like where it's cold and stuff. I
think
I'm going up in Bridgeport later this year, or probably next year, early next year.
Okay.
And then we have Steel and I and all this other. We go on field ops or something like that. But mostly we do all our training in California within that area. So you have Yuma, Arizona. Yuma's in Arizona, but we go there for training. And then Bridgeport, where we do our cold training. So that's good. But I'll end up probably going on 2 deployments before I end up getting out. Or maybe I might even stay in longer. I'm planning on probably re-enlisting in the future. Yeah. Right now, I'm like teetering, more leaning towards, I'll probably do another 4 years.
Yeah. And then like going back to school and then doing everything else, right?
Well, I'm gonna try to do my school and the Marine Corps. At the same time
to just get it out the way.
Knock it out, and then
because you're also getting paid for it.
Exactly.
That's dope,
right?
To come out with a degree you said because you're double majoring, so you get 2 degrees.
I'm trying to get my.
And then also having that thing on your resume that says that you were a Marine, that's a huge thing.
Oh, it's a major thing.
That's dope.
And here's the thing, getting those degrees does not mean, okay, once I get those degrees, I'm stopping, right? That's not what that means. I am working on a project right now, right? This is going to be a long-term project, but essentially what it's going to do, it's going to take everything my dad's built up so far, his real estate business, because we own a real estate company called Kalani Realty Inc. His hotel business is under a different brand called Magnuson right now, right? I want to rebrand that to something more my name, right? So what we're going to do is all these things, right? All these things that I'm going to create and everything that my dad has created, I'm going to take it. We're going to open up under Kalani Kalani Incorporated or something like that, like Kalani Inc., because he already owns a Kalani Inc., but it's been so long that he can, because it used to be Kalani Inc. for his dollar store, but when he shut it down because of bankruptcy,
so he has the name, though.
He has the name, but we have to, when we reopen that company, we have to pay off all this stuff that's on it, because it's been shut down for so long.
Yeah.
We have to pay all these bills and catch up on it.
Oh, shoot. Yeah.
My dad said he'll take care of that end if I can go through on my end. And so
that's a cool, that's such a cool plan.
It is. And that. So I'm going to have this entire corporation with businesses underneath. So one's going to be a real estate company side. We're going to have a hotel side, and we're going to have my computer side, right? Because I'm working on a computer project right now, right?
Yeah.
Software project. So I'm going to have that. And it's all going to fall under the Kalani Inc. Corporation. And what that's going to do is basically help brand me as this person that's can be looked up to. Because I want my name out there, right? I want my name.
It's kind of like you want to be like what's the word for that?
I don't want to be a celebrity or
like
famous.
A CEO, like an entrepreneur kind of.
Exactly, like CEO, right? Elon Musk, Elon Musk type stuff. Right?
I
want to be like that, right? I want to have this, I want to be successful like that. I want to be successful as Trump. I want to be as successful as
like a businessman.
Basically.
Trump
and Elon Musk are businessmen like that.
Yeah.
That's where it's at. Having that computer knowledge and being able to do business, because it's you can be a businessman and you can have this company. But it's you run an electronic company, but you're just a business because you're business administration, right? And you're just running it. And then now you got these people bullshitting to you. You got your employees bullshitting to you, saying this is taking too long because this, right? If you have that computer science degree too, or
you just tell them it's BS,
Stop, boy, stop lying. Right? Why are you lying to me? And it's bro.
Yeah.
I know you can do it. Because I can do it.
Yeah.
Right?
I get that.
That's why having those 2 degrees is and it's I have these big plans and projects that are in the works right now. Everything's grinding.
That sounds really cool.
I'm not really revealing anything.
Okay,
The fact that I'm I'm working on.
You're working on stuff, yeah.
Right, yeah.
Best of luck with that, though.
Yeah.
I want to get to a few of these probably like these like random topics I just have written down, because I mean I think we passed an hour. We hit the hour mark a little bit ago. So I just want to get through a few of these random topics. Yeah. Hopefully go down maybe rabbit hole or something. A few rabbit holes, right?
Yeah.
Just to see if you have anything to say about them. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I want to ask, like, how does your position, as you said, like Lance Corporal, right?
Yeah.
How does that affect how you view current events such as like the Israel/Palestine conflict, or I also want to add in there the Ukraine conflict as well.
So one thing that I would like to know is that a lot of people get this misunderstanding that the military will take care of everything, like with everything that's ongoing, right?
Yeah.
That's not really our call, to be honest. Here's the thing that about the Marine Corps. We fall directly under the president, right? So we take orders straight from the president, unlike Army, Navy, and Air Force, which gets orders from Congress. We get orders directly from the president. So we basically don't go until the president tells us to go.
Isn't that similar to like doesn't the FBI work like that too?
Yeah, I believe so.
I think so, yeah.
I think that's how I don't quote me on that.
Not entirely sure. Okay, yeah. No, I just wanted to ask, okay.
But because of that, any of the current world events, right, if Congress is able to solve it like how they have been, right, with just paying the money and giving billions of dollars and just giving it to them, right, that's essentially their way of dealing with it. As a Lance Corporal, I don't got to worry about it until they tell me, hey, like,
fair enough,
you have these orders. I'm not going to worry about it, because it's like, if they're not going to be, like, doing anything that is really affecting us on a major scale, is the U.S. military. Like, they're not attacked. Like, just recently they attacked one of our ships, and then they learned that the Houthis learned their lessons. They learned their lesson. I hope they have of what they did and how we fought back.
Responded,
how we responded to that. And I don't know, there's multiple wars going on right now, and Joe Biden keeps sending more money to these. Now, I can't have a political opinion, right, because I can't provide a public political opinion as a U.S. service member.
Yeah, no,
but
for sure.
What I can tell you are the facts, and that is Biden is approving the idea of sending billions of dollars of aid over there. And people have the misconception that they're sending money. It's not money. It's like guns, ammos, gear. We're sending gear, things that have already been made. So like the billions of dollars that we're so-called sending are like
billions of dollars
worth of gear. So like planes, missiles, tanks, right? Whatever we're sending is already built. So it's not like it's not hard cash being spent. It's, I guess, like liquid.
Yeah.
Value is.
It's objects.
It's an object.
Yeah.
We're sending over,
so
not physical money.
I remember listening to this podcast a while back. I mentioned this a long time ago in one of my episodes, I think. So I was talking with somebody about the battle in Ukraine, right?
Yeah.
And I was talking about how the U.S. was sending like weapons and stuff, and basically what I had heard in that podcast was that we're like testing the weapons because they're like brand new weapons and stuff. And so one of the things that the guy said was the best kind of weapon is battle tested. Like if you can say that your gun, like this gun is like battle tested, it works in combat, and all of this, that's like the perfect scenario.
Yeah,
right?
That would be the case, but as far as I know, I'm not too 100% sure about that. I do know we are trying to get new weapons. That's what I do know of, right? As a Lance Corporal, I only get told so much, right?
Makes sense.
Like there's only so much information they can reveal to the public and two reveal down to like the lowest levels, because it's not important stuff that we need to know. If it's not a need to know, we don't need to know. They just told us, hey, we're gonna be getting new weapons soon, but that is what it is, right?
That makes sense.
That is that.
Okay. Yeah.
But as far as I know about like testing the weapons in Ukraine, I'm not even sure about that. Like that's that could be true. That could be a myth. Who knows?
Yeah.
I can't give you a solid answer.
Yeah, I'm just building off of what you said, that we're sending not just money, but actual like weapons and different things that we want.
And
we want to test, kind of like I'm building off of that and saying that we're testing stuff out.
Here's the
kind
thing.
of.
Like, I get we're supposed to send humanitarian aid, right?
Yeah.
But we are trying to fund 3 wars and we can't even fund the U.S. right now.
Yeah.
We are having financial troubles in the U.S., but we can't even, like, we're spending a lot more of our funding to try and send stuff over. Because think about how much you got to pay the people to send stuff over, how much you're paying. Because once you go overseas, right, we have the USS Gerald Ford out there right now in the sea over there. Think about how much money you got to pay to those people, because one, you're not getting base pay no more. As a service member, you get something called overseas pay.
Yeah,
on ship and away, and that's a huge paycheck.
Yeah.
Right. You get paid a lot for that. So all the money that goes to paying those people and sending like people like to fly over all the materials to be basically do all that, right? The people that are now all that funding that goes there, it's like this is probably why our taxes are going up. This is probably why like a lot of because
that makes sense. Yeah.
Funding. It's like
I think that's what a lot of people.
I think.
Like understand kind of.
Yeah, and so we're trying to fund 3 different wars, and it's really like we're digging into our own like
economy
to try and save others, and we can't afford that right now, especially after a pandemic.
Yeah,
it's very hard because we haven't had the chance to recover yet.
Yeah, that makes sense.
There's still like all these problems going on. There's still riots. There's still protests. There's all these things that are still going on within the U.S. because we just still don't stand as a unified nation completely. There's still all these problems out there, but we're still trying to do more things outside of the country than inside. That's but then again, it could be the Biden administration. It could not even be Joe Biden's like idea. Maybe Biden wants to do something in the country, but the Biden administration wants to make it present itself to look good in front of the people. Who knows? I don't know. I don't know what they're thinking.
And that's also you can't really have too much of an opinion. Public
opinion because of my military status.
Yeah.
That's just how it is, and that's what sucks. Like I wish I could speak my mind as freely as I want.
But yeah.
But I am restricted. Right?
That makes sense. I want to move on to how much do you know? Okay, I'm gonna ask this, and I know that I've probably asked Nathan Reese about this just because I thought he knew something about it. Yeah. But I remember seeing a few days ago, and I don't know if there's going to be any news about this whenever this podcast releases, but somebody saying that, and I saw this like in multiple places, that the EPSTEIN logs are going to be released. So, do you know what that is? And
Epstein logs isn't like the chats with the
like the list, like the names, like all of the names.
The name list?
Yeah, the name list. So I'm thinking this is what I was talking with my mom a few days ago.
Yeah.
And I was kind of basically just saying that number one, what I was thinking was we're gonna see like either the list is gonna be like altered. Most likely. I think because people are going to be super desperate that their names are not going to be on a list, and there's probably going to be a few huge names that are not going to be on there.
Dude, 100%.
And then the other thing that I think is that the names that do end up being on the list that gets released, I feel like that's just going to destroy their lives, and I think that we're going to see, like you were saying earlier, I think we're going to see like probably a lot of suicides. And I'm not saying that like that's a good thing or anything like that, but I think that's career ending, and a lot of people might turn to something like that.
First of all, I want to say that the idea of a human life, right? People take it so much for granted, right? They take it so much for granted that when they're doing it to someone else, they don't think much of it. But when it happens to you, now you realize how much of a value that human life is, and that's where it's like, okay, now you got to see it. Second, going back to that actually, That's why it's like trying to take your own life, and like all the suicides this year. That's kind of like rough. It's already like 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
And now we see all the suicides. That's like rough to see. It's like how precious that human life is, and you see it get taken away because who knows the reason, right? Who knows? But and then you have the people that commit suicide just to try to save their career, or like just be like, oh man, things got rough because I made an oopsie, and whereas some people that take their own lives, right, are people that are genuinely going through things that like are way beyond their control, like things that they didn't have a choice, like growing up in a rough home, rough parents, right?
Yeah, and they're just sad. They're just sad. Yeah.
They're just like there's this whole thing that's eating away at them, and it sucks because like there's a lot of people that suffer in silence, and there's a lot of things that they could do to get help, and there's a lot of things that they could do to get out of that like environment that they could be in. If it's your parents, there's like CPS can help, but at the same time, you feel bad as a child, like trying to separate yourself away from your parents. And it's like there's all these things with that.
Yeah.
But then you have the people trying to take the easy way out just because their careers got ruined over some choice that
that's
they
what I'm
made.
saying. Yeah.
And it's
I
the
think
infuriating part. That's like you don't want to face up to your like the consequences of your own actions. And that list that's coming out, I promise you, they could try to cover it up as much as they want, right? They could try to adjust it and alter it, but keep in mind, those people that are really out there, there are a lot of good hackers out there. There's a lot of good people on the dark web that know
can
what
leak
they're
it
doing and can find the real list and will be able
the
to
problem with
I
that,
want to say just give it a few months at most, maybe even give it a 2 weeks or less, a week.
Dude.
The ones that are really out there that want that, because I think people have this misconception of hackers, right? That all hackers are bad. No,
there's a lot of
hackers
there's some good ones
do
too.
It just for fun, or do it for good, or do it just to get like leaks of games or something like that. I know a lot of hackers that are out there that like that just did it just to get game leaks, right? Just to get, like ideas of like stuff, and like they won't even leak it to anyone else. They just do it for personal. Like,
did you hear the GTA 6 trailer got released? Just because. So I heard that the reason for that was because, or what they think it was. So there's this thing on YouTube. You know, like when you go to schedule something to release. Yeah. So everybody that works for YouTube, kind of something like that. All the engineers and everybody that works at YouTube has access to that. Even though it's like a file that hasn't technically released, they have access to files that haven't released yet. So how? So I'm what they were saying was that all those thousands, there was probably one person that worked there that leaked it, but they can't figure out who it was.
Here's the thing: when you pre-upload a video, right? So when you predate a video to upload on a specific date, that video file is actually already up there. That's how it works. Because I've done YouTube, right? I don't know if you.
Yeah, it's just set as like a private thing that only you have access to, from your end.
From my end, right? You think it's from your end, right? So,
that's what you see, is what I mean.
So what you see on my channel, right? It says, right. Video coming out in a couple of days, right? You'll see the notification, you'll see a thumbnail of it, but you're not going to see the video itself. What is already happening behind the scenes is that the video is locked, right? It has basically what it's going to do is basically unlock it as soon as that time and date hits, but the video has already been encoded, uploaded, and it's already just sitting in YouTube's database, right? It's already sitting there. It's just waiting for that time. As soon as that time hits, it'll automatically set itself from private to public, right?
So those people have access to all of it.
So they do. But that doesn't mean that hackers also don't. So
that's probably a thing. They probably got into that database.
Because you can, how most of the time hackers end up getting leaks is that they have a connection between the people sending things out and then YouTube, right? So like in this instance, you have GTA servers here, the GTA servers, YouTube, right? Now you got your hacker over here, right? Yeah. What he's going to do is he's not going to tap into the servers. He's going to tap into the line that's connecting between the server and GTA and YouTube, right? Yeah. And so you have this straight line, right? He's going to come in, section it off, copy as it goes through. So he'll have like a copy and a reroute and just copy it down. So he's going to get the data, and it's also going to go to YouTube. so it doesn't look like that line has been, or like they haven't breached in any of the servers, right? And that's how it works. They'll just take it straight from the line.
Yeah.
And then that way, now they have the file, and they can't even tell if it was. They can pin the blame on YouTube because you can't even tell.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's interesting though.
Yeah,
I've there's some good hackers out there.
Yeah, I've had my fair share on the dark web every now and then.
Oh, really? Okay. So that's one of the things I wanted to ask you.
Oh.
So, what's it called? Where did I hear this? So I know this is about to take a dark turn for a second.
Oh, God.
So I was listening to a podcast, Sean Ryan, and I know I've talked about this a few times. He was talking to this hacker that exposes like pedophiles on the internet, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if you know him. His name's Ryan Montgomery. He's huge. He's an amazing person. He's a hero, and
he's well known in the hacker community.
Okay, so yeah, he's awesome. But one of the things he talks about is like these websites, right?
Yes.
He says that there's certain websites that like what is it? You have to download like the Tor browser or whatever. Okay, so this is what the dark web is, right?
So the dark web is, they misconcept it to like this green and black text, right, that you got to do to type in to get.
Stupid.
It's not that. It's not that. It's really simple actually. It's just protecting yourself is the harder part, really, because the reason why people use Tor is, one, it's untraceable. Tor and Onion are untraceable, right?
Yeah.
And then, I do not advise you, right? But basically, without knowing the sites, you can't really do much in that. But you basically, how I used to do it was, I had a virtual machine on my laptop or my computer. Then I downloaded a VPN, and then I downloaded Tor.
Okay, yeah, VPN, yeah.
Tor, and then that way, one, it's a virtual machine. It's using a false IP, using a VPN to switch my IP, and as I'm protected on a multi-layer scale, right? And on my computer, I also had a VPN, so I had two VPNs going, right? All this stuff. So it was I would be untraceable. I set up a good, I set myself up pretty good. You get on Tor, and then you enter in specific site links, right? You don't find them. You don't just search, this type of site, right?
Yeah.
It's not that simple.
That would be stupid.
That would be stupid, right? Then anyone can find it. But how you do it on Tor is you enter in specific websites that are ever changing, right? Every so often they'll change.
That makes sense.
But you can always find the website in hacker Discords, hacker Reddits, right? You can, as long as you know where to look on Discord and Reddit. Most of the time you can find them on Discord, Skype, Facebook, right? All those groups. There's those groups out there, and then they'll you can talk, communicate with them, and all that. And that's basically how you get.
And there's probably telegrams and
Oh yeah.
Especially Telegram's one of the worst ones, I'm guessing, right? Some of the worst shit. And then what's that other one?
Red rooms?
Red rooms I heard aren't real. What do you think?
They are.
Okay, can you explain what they are?
So red rooms are invite only. They're invite only. That's the thing. Telegrams, I don't think they're invite only. So red rooms, they say
they might be. I'm not sure.
They might, who knows? But the thing about red rooms is that they're invite only, and you have to be specially invited, right?
Yeah.
So you have to be by these higher ups and stuff, right? I had a friend who had managed to get on there, right?
Holy what?
He got invited in because he was threatened, right? He managed to had intercepted with one dude, and basically he was threatening him, and was gonna say he was gonna expose him. He was gonna drop all his home address and everything, right?
Yeah.
He had the actual address too. He had broken past all his defenses and.
Oh, dude.
That's the worst part.
What?
But here's the thing: red rooms are absolutely horrifying.
Oh yeah, can you explain what? I don't think you got around to explaining it.
Yeah, basically, it's all these people that are have money. It's like Epstein's Island, but online, essentially. But what it is, you know how Epstein invited a bunch of people with money, right?
Yeah.
That's what red rooms are. It's a bunch of people with money that watch people get tortured, right?
Yeah, so
KKK,
it's not.
I'm talking about KKK people, like KKK members dropping hundreds, like tens of thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars just to watch them, like.
And it's live, right?
Live in some like unknown location, untraceable, like they can't find like anything. They're off a private signal, everything. Because the reason why red rooms are considered a myth is because it's a private, untraceable signal that's a invite only. They don't have a.
That's what everybody says.
That's why it disappears. It just disappears.
Yeah.
They think it's a myth because it disappears after it's done, and you can never find any traces of it. That's the thing about them.
That's crazy, dude. Because I always thought, like, I remember hearing this one guy talk about how it's impossible because people wouldn't be stupid enough to do something like that, and like that level of security doesn't exist, something like that. But for what you're saying, that actually does kind of sound that's scary as hell.
It doesn't exist. That's why.
Because it exists and then
it doesn't. Then it loses all like trace of it because you can't find it afterwards. So it's a very like minuscule. It's a minority of like it's like a very very small percentage that like you can even like come across it.
Yeah.
I think there's only been 7 ever, right? 7
Damn,
ever,
dude.
like in the last something like 20 years or something like that, 10 years.
Yeah.
Like ever since computers, like ever since it's been around.
Yeah, because live streams haven't been that like around that long. I don't think,
like,
right?
10 years.
I would guess so.
I think it's been like
because YouTube was probably like what, early 2000s maybe.
Mm-hmm. So like I don't know if red room is the right term for the name for it, but I don't know what the actual name for it is. I just call it a red room because that's what
a lot of people call them. Yeah.
But there's only been like 7 ever known.
Yeah, because when you get onto this live stream where people are getting tortured and shit, I heard like it's kind of like how it is on what is it like TikTok or stuff like that where you tip them and you say like do this stuff like that.
That's exactly how it is. So you'll see like this list of things that you could do and the price amount to it. Next thing you know, you have this man dropping $200,000 just to watch this guy's get chopped up and like shoved down his throat or something like that.
Oh my gosh, like, dude!
It's just it's some fuck shit. That's all I'll say. It's messed up. It's beyond screwed.
Yeah.
And it's astonishing to me that there are people that will watch that and pay for that. That's
so messed up, dude. I feel like rich people just have like the most twisted minds.
Oh, dude, have you seen have you ever played Far Cry 5? I'm
playing
it, right? Basically, Far Cry 5 is this religious fanatic.
Yeah. I think my brother's been playing like 5 or 6. I'm not sure which one.
So 5 and Far Cry 5 is and then New Dawn are joined together, right? They're it's a 2-part Far Cry game, which is the first, right? But in my opinion, Far Cry 3 was the best, but Far Cry 5 deals with the religious aspect where this guy's just uses religion and says that revelation of God and will like do any means possible and will justify it with the idea of God and rally people together and try to create this whole civil war. Yeah. Right.
That's wild.
Some messed up holy war, and now you have to liberate it. But like I haven't played enough to know the entire story of it yet. But it just looks. I just started playing it today, and it looks insane. It looks so good. I'm a big Far Cry fan, so I can't wait to see how that. Yeah. But it's like you see people in the game, and you see the ideas and the entirety of Far Cry series. You see Pagan Min in Far Cry 4. You see Voss in Far Cry 3. You see their fucked up, crazy ideals of like, oh yeah, because they have this power, they have the money, they can do whatever they want, right? And that really is the case. Unfortunately, that is crazy. The case. Yeah. In the real world, as long as you have power and money, you can do whatever you want. And unfortunately, that is how most people get away with a lot of things.
Case in point, Epstein. And then,
and that's why I promise you, there's a lot of hackers that despise that.
I think.
And they're going to drop the real list, and then everyone, they don't give a fuck.
The problem.
They don't care if it's Taylor Swift or The Weeknd or.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter who it is on that list. They will drop the real list.
The actual list.
Truth. And there are a lot of I promise you, a lot of your favorite rappers, a lot of your favorite artists probably went to.
Politicians.
I almost want to say 100% Taylor Swift was there. I want to say 100% Taylor Swift went there. I'm probably going to get a lot of Swiftie hate.
Yeah.
Like all those Swifties hate, like giving me a lot of hate. But I promise you, she's probably one of the people that ended up going to that island. Or even 21 Savage might. Like,
maybe.
Even Savage probably.
I know.
Or Travis.
A lot of, probably him.
Probably
I would
Travis,
guess him.
yeah.
But there's a lot of names like, I think Ellen DeGeneres probably.
Probably.
People like Adam Sandler.
I don't know. I don't think Adam
What's
Sandler.
the one guy? I think Adam Sandler's probably on there.
Who knows?
Do you know the pizza? Do you know the
what's
pizza?
funny? I don't think Snoop Dogg would be on that list.
Really?
I think Snoop Dogg would not be on that list. I think
That's interesting. He probably. I don't know.
Think about it for a second. It's Snoop. He doesn't.
There's a
fuck with
lot
that.
of there's a lot of people
He doesn't. Fuck
that
with
you
it,
don't
though.
think that's the problem. There's a lot of people you don't think will be on there
But
are
we'll see,
probably on there.
We'll
And the
see,
thing
and
you're
I'm
saying,
kind of
the
like-
thing that you're saying about a hacker releasing it is you don't know if that like people. The hard part is going to be determining if you can believe it.
That's true.
Because if the source that it's coming from, people are less likely to believe it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's not like
Well, I promise you, once the real list gets out and it gets enough attention, you can't stop. the
Yeah.
truth.
oh yeah, I'm like
Because when think about it, a fake list could come out, right? And then the celebrities won't have to worry, right? And then they'll just kind of like try to be on their, but they're gonna be on their toes.
yeah,
When a list comes out and their name's on it, and you start seeing them like try to do some funky shit, and then they
Yeah.
start like doing like like retaliation videos. Like, if it wasn't you, why are you making a video telling everyone that you weren't there?
yeah,
Now you got all the suspicion drawing to them. So no matter
Yeah.
what you do, if the ones that really weren't there know that they weren't there, they're not gonna care too much about their like. They'll sue for defamation, but like in the end, if they really weren't there, they really weren't there. But the ones that really were, and they start guilty, they're gonna slip up 100%. They're gonna say something. They're gonna slip up, and that's gonna be like.
exactly.
It doesn't
Yeah.
matter if it's a real or fake list. As to whatever, if their name's on it and they know they went there, they're gonna slip up at some point and they're gonna sell themselves
I
out.
hope so.
Or someone is gonna rat them out.
I hope that the actual list gets released.
It probably
Because
doesn't happen.
I don't know if you know, but like the reason it's getting released is because a judge called for it.
Yeah,
So
no.
like a federal judge wants it, like needs it to be released for
Exactly.
whatever reason they
And
need
if
it to be
the
released.
federal judge has already seen that list, he can call out that bullshit if it's altered. So there's a lot.
The bad part about that is if like
if the judge disappears all of a sudden.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Right.
He could get Epsteined.
Yeah.
That's the problem with like this entire case. I think that like, dude, if that's the only list, it can get destroyed.
Unfortunately,
People can disappear.
The world is just. that corrupt.
There's people that are that desperate.
They are.
That
I'm not
like I
surprised.
said
Wouldn't
before,
surprise.
this is something
Politicians, 100%. There are some politicians that went there. Because
Yeah. No, Bill Clinton is verified. He's been there.
Yeah.
Donald Trump, verified. There's pictures of him with Epstein. He was there. I think I don't want to say Reagan. People like him, but RFK.
Was
He's
Joe Biden there?
RFK. Dude, I wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't be surprised.
He probably was.
Hell.
But yeah, the Clintons their Clintons are like the number one people everyone
Oh,
knows
yeah, 100%.
were there.
I think Clinton's was his number one backer, if I'm correct.
Yeah, dude, like there's records of him going back and forth all the time. And I think it's similar with like Bill Gates.
Yep.
People know that Bill Gates went there a bunch of
But
times.
there's-
But what
What
why
really happened there, right? Because there's this.
it's very verified. Like everyone knows what happened.
Everyone knows, right? And Epstein's Island was a whole like mess,
It's-
but it was like there
It's
were parts to it. If you really like, it was mostly like it wasn't one whole thing. Like they just had one whole event there. They had multiple different events that were sectioned off. So like some of it was actually like just a genuine good time and just to have fun.
Probably.
And then some
Not
parts
sure.
were like messed up, and some
Yeah.
parts were the shady parts. So like you don't know whether or not like, cause I don't know. I can't really speak much about this topic of Epstein because I need to do more research about it. But like from what I've understood is that the island was not only a getaway, like to escape, like the entirety of like the normal world and like to escape society and to get a break from it, right?
Yeah.
It was also Epstein's place of misconduct, where he could do his dirty deeds, and so it was both a good business trying to cover up a bad business.
Yeah, and I'm willing to bet there was also probably cult-like rituals being done there, because I don't know if you've seen pictures of it, but
I've seen.
There's like a.
Crazy.
Part of it just looks terrifying.
Oh, dude,
and dude, have you seen? I know, dude.
We're running.
I'm looking at the time, and we've gone on a long time. But have you heard of Bohemian Grove?
Bohemian Grove, yes,
dude. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I want to talk about that a little bit because somebody snuck in there recently.
Yeah, I saw that.
And it was on TikTok.
Yeah, it's.
He was showing.
That
so
was like,
people that don't know what that is. It's like this. I think it was active in like the 1980s, something like that.
1980s,
90s, something like that. Long time ago, but
the 80s weren't that long ago. It's only like what, 30 years?
No,
40?
Dude, 40. Yeah, probably 40 like 40. But
no, don't feel that.
People like Nixon, bunch of past presidents went there, and it was like this place where all the like elites, Hollywood people would go there. It's basically like Epstein's Island before Epstein's Island, but it was more of like a ritualistic place where they would go and
it was a lot more cult-like.
It was very cult-like.
It was like where
they would go there and worship the owl god because they have this statue of the owl god there.
So the thing with Bohemian Grove was, I think it was more towards like the idea of a devil.
Yeah,
like this devil.
It's very
was more of a cult,
incredibly
like
satanic.
Cult. Like satanic.
But they also would burn like effigies there.
Yeah.
And there was rumors of them burning like actual people. But they go there.
Rumors. They were verified. That was verified. That was verified.
Well then that's verified. But they go there in like robes and shit. And this is all okay. I know this isn't like the most trusted source, but everyone knows that Alex Jones snuck in there and recorded like the whole thing in action. So that's a huge thing.
Is that verified source? Is that like a verified
He was shouting that out before like. Okay, so he's the one. He went on Joe Rogan's podcast and was talking about Epstein's Island way before. He was talking about Epstein way before that case ever happened.
Yeah.
So I mean, like I know he's kind of like a moron in a nutcase sometimes, but like what I'm saying is that like a few of the things that he's talked about.
Yeah.
He's like whistleblown some of the biggest things in history.
That's what. Yeah, it's true.
Like you're talking about this cult where they did all of that stuff, and I'm telling you that can't be the only place. Oh, like that place was busted, and there's TikTokers breaking into there.
Dude,
there's probably hundreds of other places across the country.
Wait. Have you seen the underground mall?
No, is that what is that?
It was on TikTok. It was like this underground mall with this creepy ass statue that like follows you around or something.
What the heck?
It's like, I don't remember.
That sounds like some borderline like.
Oh god, I don't remember the
Denver airport type shit.
Yeah,
Sir Watson was talking about that one episode.
I don't remember what the mall name is now. Oh god.
That sounds scary.
But basically, it's like a mall that got buried underground, and there's this like creepy ass like statue that follows you around.
What the hell?
Because I think it's it moves based on movement, right? So, but basically the mall used to be very active, and then I don't know what happened to it, right? I don't know the full details of the story.
And now it's underground.
Now it's underground, and it's like apparently some guy went in there and he got like trapped or something. He managed to get out, but like apparently it collapsed on him, like the entrance. And just the entire place looked creepily eerie, but at the same time, it felt like there was, when you look at it, it looked like there were other people that like visited so often and like did stuff there.
Yeah.
And so it's like,
I'm willing to bet there probably was.
There's probably more satanic shit.
No, yeah, because that's not uncommon from what I've heard. Like,
No.
I was hearing...
And that's the shit that's like...
Yeah.
That shit gives me chills. It's like, what the fuck? It's like, it's all these places are hidden away.
Usually on purpose. Yeah.
Always on purpose, because they don't want anyone to know what's going on. And the places that they like do their stuff at is like places that would be like condemned or like that don't exist no more.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That's the deep shit though. It's so there's like a dark history like everywhere you go. It's pretty scary. But I do want to wrap this up.
Yeah.
So I normally end with advice. So if you have any advice, maybe just life advice if you have that.
Yeah. I actually have a lot. Like 2023 was a great learning lessons. Like I think I learned a lot in 2023 for life in general, right? One thing I do want to say is that do not get complacent with this lifestyle that you have of like your parents are always going to be here. You will get smacked in the face with reality so quick when you start having bills, car payments, insurance payments, renters, like Wi-Fi bills. Oh my God. Half my paychecks disappear, like I said earlier. Like they disappear.
Damn,
and it's like
bro.
when you see what your bills are and then you
sucks.
got food, you got to right. Remember, start financing. Like start saving, start budgeting, start having this idea. Do not go and buy some like if you don't have the money to be able to support the insurance and the car payments, do not buy some high-end car. Buy something that's 5 years old or 10 up to 5 to 7 years old is where I would sit with, right?
Yeah.
Like anything, right? I usually go 5 years old, like 5 to 6 years old, because like I can find something decent. Like I bought a 2018 Kia Forte. It gets me from place A to place B just fine, and I have Apple CarPlay in there. I don't really care too much about anything. I have car security in there. I don't really care too much.
That's dope, yeah.
Like it does the job. It's $350 a month, and my insurance payment went up. So it used to be $85 a paycheck.
Yeah.
Now it's like $120 a paycheck. So it hurts. It hurts my pay. And then on top of my $130 per month Wi-Fi bill, right? It hurts. It hurts,
dude.
You get faced with the reality, and then gas, right? Because gas in Cali is like $4.29 or something.
Oh,
it hurts. It hurts my bank account every time. It's like $50 to fill a tank. It's like, oh God.
Yeah.
But do not get complacent. I think that's one thing that I want to like big on. Do not get complacent. Do not take people that come into your life for granted. That's another thing. You might not be super well off with that person. You might end up being in a shitty situation with that person for a while. But be grateful that you're with them at least, because who knows, you can turn that situation from good to bad, or from bad to good real quick because they're their person. And it's like some people will come into your life and they will try to fuck shit up, and someone that you hated for a while could come back into your life.
Yeah.
And try to fix things. And you could give them a second chance. I gave them a second chance, and now I'm good terms on with them, and we understand. It was just different points of views, and it's like, do not take people for granted. Sometimes they will be like the realest people. Like, I think
I agree.
I made that mistake, and I took a few people for granted, and now they're gone, and it's like, shit. I wish I didn't mess that up. But
for sure.
Some of the realists, like, one thing you'll also learn is that you will be alone a lot of the times. When you grow up, you will be alone a lot of the time. There's no need to try to substitute that with drinking, smoking, drugs.
I totally agree. Don't do that.
The worst thing you can do is try to find something to alleviate that sense of loneliness by using something to falsify, like justify that. The best thing you do is figure out how to be content and by being alone with yourself. If you can be happy by being alone with yourself, you can be happy by being with someone else. That's like the best thing. Let's see, what else? Oh yeah, do not forget to take a breather. There are a lot of people out there that keep going on this grind, and it's like they forget to take a breather, and then they hurt their own mental health, they hurt their own physical health, self-health, right? Sometimes it's okay just to take a break. It's okay just to take a break, catch your breath, readjust, restart, and continue on forward. No one's going to judge you. Everyone's on their own timeline. Everyone works on their own time. And that's the beauty of humanity. the uniqueness of everyone's own time. You don't have to be catching up to someone. You're doing things at your own pace because that's what it's right for you. That's how it works for you. So like if you want to take a gap year after high school, go for it. If you want to join the military after high school, go for it. I think the military is definitely an underrated thing that people do not take advantage of enough. And then when people are in, they don't take enough advantage of the benefits that are in. It gives you so many benefits. It gives you this sense of maturity. It teaches you how to stand on your own. Teaches you how to take care of your own, how to lead, how to build these traits. And it's just overall a great way to take a break from the mind space of school while also still learning more real world education. They'll even teach, like there's a lot of teaching for taxes and like life lessons over there. Or just take a gap year, go travel, go enjoy life for a year, and then go back, pop into school. Get that, like it definitely was a big help taking a year off of school, focusing on the military, focusing on setting a career path, and then coming back, and now I'm back in school, doing a dual major, thinking that I was never going to do a dual major because I was like, I can't do two things. No. I figured out how to do that and made a plan, and now we're vibing. We figured it out. It was a nice break, so do not forget to take a break. I think that's really it. And,
that's very important. I agree.
Yeah. I think the last thing I would say is there's a lot of protests going on out there. You see that. There's a lot of differences. There's a lot of different people. There's a lot of things that are going on around there. People are just people in the end. Don't listen to what the hate that they give. Mind your own business. And just be respectful to everyone. Like, I don't care if you are bi, trans, gay, black, white, Asian, right? It doesn't matter to me what your sexual preference is, what sexuality you are, what your race is, what your gender is, right? None of that matters to me. As long as you can respect and like there's this respectful agreement we have with each other and we can just enjoy each other's company. Doesn't matter to me what type of, like, as long as you're not being like this rude, disrespectful person and just like, you know, being a complete asshole. It's simply
you just look at them for like,
it doesn't matter what type of like what their preference is. If they're cool, they're cool. If they can hold, like, if they enjoy the same things you do, the same games, they enjoy the same vibes you do, vibe with them. It doesn't matter.
Exactly. Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. There are some prejudices I'll hold. Furries, furries. I don't know. Yeah. I think that's one that I can't sit well with. But, I'm not gonna go out of my way and say I hate them, but like.
Yeah.
I think I'll keep my distance.
I think everybody's got their own. Like,
I think I'll keep my distance.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can just communicate with them like super easily. I think I'd be a bit off put to put it.
Yeah. Furries, bro.
I don't hate y'all. It's just y'all are different. I don't know what way. Y'all are just different.
Yeah.
Good for you, I guess. I don't know what to tell you. Whatever makes you happy.
No, whatever makes you happy, right?
Yeah.
But I'm going to do a quick summary of what we went over today.
Yeah.
Because we talked about, what did we talk? The first thing we talked about was like graduation and all that.
Oh, yeah.
And then we talked about being like the mascot, right? And then I asked you about like how your holidays went. We went into like a discussion about like Christmas versus, and then like how it's different with like Indians and like Hindu, right? And then we talked about like growing up, and then like stuff you did, how you love like Wizarding 101, right?
Yeah, Wizard 101.
Yeah.
I've been playing a lot of COD recently though.
Oh yeah, I like COD too.
One thing I'll have to say, Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, underrated as fuck.
Yeah.
Zombies is so good.
I love zombies on anyone.
Zombies,
bro.
Call of Duty Infinite Warfare was underrated as fuck. Like it's probably one of my favorite non-Treyarch zombies, right?
Yeah.
Because Treyarch makes great zombies, but this one was not made by Treyarch, but it was so well done.
It was still good, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so Then we talked about like high school, how you enjoyed it, your teachers. Then we talked about like who and basically we went in from there to talking about like why you decided to go into the Marines, and then like who inspired you, stuff like that, all of that, and then like what training camp was like,
boot camp, yep.
And then like what your position is, and then your goals, and then basically I think eventually after that we got into like the like how your position affects how you view like current events, and my examples were like Israel, Palestine, Ukraine, and all that. And then eventually I got into like my random ones, which I love because we get to talk about like all the really fun stuff.
I think before we close things off, just to go back to that Israel, Palestine, where my position stands. This goes for a lot of military members. Our positions as like the junior enlisted or like anyone that hasn't been in long enough to hold a NCO position, or even some NCOs, we don't get told a lot of the information mainly because it's irrelevant to us right now. It is not important because we're not in a time of war. We currently are not sitting in a time of war for the U.S., right? Because we are our last war was in
what, Afghanistan?
Yeah, Afghanistan.
That's the last one. Yeah,
that was really our last war that we really fought, and that's because
with our own people.
Yeah, with our own people. With Israel, Palestine, Ukraine.
Like we said,
Yemen,
it's like sending weapons.
That's just gonna be sending humanitarian aid.
Stuff like that.
And again, I feel like that is like how much we are sending is over the top because we should be using that budget and funding. Like instead of creating these weapons, we can use some of that funding to help improve America.
Yeah, our own.
Fix the little issues we have here. But
So I want to say. Number one, thank you for getting on. Yeah. Number two, a lot of the stuff that we talked about, especially with military stuff, people can definitely learn from that. Especially if they're seniors this year in high school and they're thinking about maybe perhaps doing something like that, as well as like all the benefits that you talked about with that, and then all the cool stories you talked about. But also, I want to say,
if you don't. It's great because if you don't know what to do, give the military a shot. Go sit down and just talk to the recruiter. They're not going to make you sign the papers right away. They're just going to give you some information, give you maybe an eye-opener of things that could be helpful to you.
100%. Yeah, it gives you more time to decide what you want to do, as well as it gives you more options as far as college, because then you can afford more. They give you more opportunities. But so we talked about like all of that stuff, and then I'm trying to retrace where I was. So a lot of people can learn from what you were talking about, as well as like I think just like how we ended there, because I was looking at where we ended. That's just interesting stuff to talk about. I think that's why I always like to add that in. That's a lot of like, I can use that for clips because people like to listen. That's where they like to tune in. But yeah, I think what you had to add to that, like literally, dude, I didn't think I knew anything about the dark web.
The dark web is the tip of the iceberg is like credit cards, accounts, Netflix accounts, and free shit, right? That's the tip of the iceberg where a lot of people mostly like getting into the dark web. That's where most people spend their time, just trying to get all that information to get free shit, right? You know how it is. But then you get to the middle levels and then the lower levels. And once you get into lower levels, now that's where we're going into like the very, very legal shit. Like,
obscure.
Wow. Like
not many people
murders,
know. Yeah, like what we were saying, like red rooms and shit like that. But
telegrams, all that stuff is down there.
So basically, I think a lot of that stuff is interesting. Not many people know about that, and I think now they are probably more knowledgeable about stuff like that. And I appreciate that because you're able to teach them that, and that's why I want to thank you.
A lot of things do change, and like it's been a while since I've been on the dark web, so a lot of things do change in that time.
Yeah.
But the world is always gonna have two sides. You have the light side and the dark side. Like it basically is split up. You have everything that you see on the surface, everything that the news portrays, and everything that you can see and physically hear. And then you have things that are done underground. Everything that is done under the radar and behind the scenes to make basically the world go around.
And I think like, me and Nathan also talked about a little bit about that last episode. Yeah. So I think he talked about a little bit about that, and then we talked about some different stuff. But I think both of you guys had like different ways of looking at things, and both of you were able to talk about like some really interesting topics. So I really want to thank you for getting on this episode. Yeah. Thank you for getting on, bro.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for listening to this episode of the Goal Swell Podcast. If you guys enjoyed this episode, make sure to drop a like. And if you plan on listening to any future episodes, make sure to subscribe and click that notification button.